time for the wish list game.
Yeah. Raider Nation worldwide. Punch live. Chat gone crazy. Silver and black. You already know. Raiders in attack. Yeah, we roll deep from the bay to the city. Four roll one. 401. Silver and black, yeah, we never fold. New winning roots with a Raider soul. East Coast grind, West Coast pride. Raider Nation, worldwide. 401, say it loud. 401, feel that sound from the stands to the screen. This is Raider Talk with 401 Raider Jeff. Win or lose, we ride it out. Raider Nation, hear us shout. Hit that bell, show respect. Silver and black. 401 Raider Jeff. 401. 401.
Hello, my children. Good evening, Raider fans, Raider Nation, everybody in the chat. How's everybody doing today? I'm not grumpy. I'm in a good mood. At my granddaughter's birthday party here at the house today, so it was good vibes today. Good vibes. Good vibes. And just I'll hit on this real quick now before I've already put the link out there, so it's an open show. We're gonna go open right from the very beginning on like past Friday nights. I'll pull you up once I do what I need to do at the start of this. But anybody that wants to come in, the link's there. If it doesn't work for you in the vertical, jump over to the full landscape one. The link will work there. In a second, I will pin it to the top of the chat so it's there the whole chat tonight. So I know everybody was excited today. Boy, Hobo, you didn't waste some time. Everybody was excited with the notification that Kubiak is possibly going to be our guy. And I'm saying possibly. You know, I know Tana said, oh, no Kubiak talk. I don't have a problem talking about it, but I'm still holding my cheering and yay until he signs the contract. He does the presser because we're Raider Nation and some things tend to not go our way. And I'm just trying to be optimistic here and trying to just make sure that it's 100% etched in stone and we're good to go with this. So, yes, they've got a verbal agreement, a handshake agreement. So Tuesday after the Super Bowl, when they probably get together and once he's in the facility, signs it, and we're good to go, and they do the press conference, I'm all for it. I've been wanting him anyway. He's been my number one guy the whole time. So I've been happy that we were keeping in touch with him and just keeping the dialogue open. So we're good. All right. So let's just hit the chat here real quick. Check to see who's in. There's Tanner Jack. What's up, my guy? Where's the We Got Kubiak show? Yep. Sacktown Mike's in the house. Jack's in the house. Cool Kev's in the house. LV10's in the house. Raider Ryan's here. Alex is here. Edgar's here. PNW Mark is here. Frank Weber's in the house. Anthony's in the house. What else we got? I thought I saw Jason Downs. Where's Jason? Oh, JP's here. What's going on, my guys? Anthony. Where are we? I know I saw him. There he is. Jason Downs is in the house. I know Accelerator's here. He's backstage already. I already said I'm not wrong. That's why I said it. Alex, since we got a handshake with Kubiak, can we talk about Mendoza now and the positives with Kubiak and him? That's what this is all going to be about tonight, actually, this show. I'm giving everybody the opportunity to come on here and talk about their good and their bad, on why they want him, why they don't. I'm not going to talk too much tonight. I'm going to interject if it gets out of hand or whatever. I may have my little bits here and there. I want you guys in the chat to just kind of go at it, bring up your takes, why you think he is, and if you don't think he is, why you don't think he is, why you think we should go a different route, if it's not drafting him, whatever. It's your show tonight, basically. It's a Raider Nation show. So that's what I'm looking forward to tonight. That's what we're going to get out of this, okay? So Hobo's already in the backstage area. I'll bring him on in a minute. Anybody else, the link is there. It's already been posted. Let me add it to my hang on. Let me add it. I'm going to pin it to the top. And it's now pinned, so it is there for the entire show. So let's see what else we got here. So Ja Raid is announced. What's up, Ja Raid? Albert Sports, Brady, and Kubiak are in the same goal. Mendoza is their guy. Okay, so there goes the trade back ideas. Not necessarily yet, so sounds low. I just didn't have my voice, my mic on it. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me all right, Hobo? Just give me a head shake. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I am grumpy all the time. Let's see. Jim Schwartz told Browns release me. Yeah, I know he wants out of there. He's not happy. Nia Bengals is here. What's going on? Who else would get left at the altar on the wedding day but the Raiders? Exactly. And that's why I'm a little until that day. Let's see. Ant Hustle's in the house. What's going on, man? I hate to say it, but Geno Smith might stay on the roster. Kubiak went to Seattle originally to coach Geno. Let's see. Army, 82nd retired. Much respect, Raider Nation. Hope the new coach is good for you. Speaking as a Viking fan, cheers all. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Neil's in the house. What's up, Neil? How you doing? Oh, you're cold down there. You ought to come up here. It's been single digits the last couple of days, and actually negatives the other day too. So let me. One more thing I need to do that I forgot to do before we started all this. One other thing too. I've got some songs that I'm going to play tonight that I made up a little while ago. I was basically given directive by Will at the end of his show with him and Jay from Just Raiders Baby. Make sure you check out both Silver and Black Podcast and Just Raiders Baby. So make sure you check those guys out. If you haven't subbed to them, make sure you do. Also, my guy, Jason Downs, who's in the chat right now, it's Raiders First Downs. He's got a killer show on Tuesday nights that he does with Donuts Duncan. So make sure you get over to Donuts Duncan's also and give them some love. And same thing with Hobo Raider. Make sure you get over to his channel. It's The Value of Silver is his channel. He does a lot of pre-recorded type videos. He doesn't do a lot of live unless he comes on shows like this. What he does is he talks about his past life with his struggles and everything. So if anybody that has any type of struggles that can relate to him, check his channel out because you'll like it. Trust me. You'll be able to just kind of understand where he's coming from. And maybe you had the same issues, growing up the way that he did too. So make sure you guys check his channel out. Sorry, I'm almost done here. That's done. Okay. So, yeah, I made some songs because Will was tired of hearing the Mendoza song. So I came up with a new one for that. So we'll play that a little bit later on. And then I also made some parody ones, too, for the hell of it. Just because I had time. And Neil says, what coach took over the Rails? It's going to be Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator from the Seahawks. They've come to a verbal agreement with him yesterday. All the news broke kind of early this afternoon about him and the Raiders coming to an agreement. Now, he still has to coach the Super Bowl. We technically can't sign him until Tuesday after the Super Bowl. So we got to wait a week from this Tuesday before we can actually put ink to paper and then get him in the facility to do that and to get into the press conference room and actually have the press conference. Let's see. Perry's in the house. Hell no to Gino. We need to draft Mendoza and another QB as backup later in the draft, like that kid Green. Jeff got a song called No Mendoza. You're going to like it. I think it's freaking hilarious. I actually did 2 parody songs, and I did the one true good one. I went Mendoza, but need Kubiak to look really hard on him in combine meetings. How is his mobility, reading defenses, knowing the playbook? Give him hard questions. Got it. All right. So, again, anybody that wants to come in, the link is there. I will put it in the chat one more time. I'm going to bring Hobo in here now. Hobo, are you ready?
Yeah.
Whether or not, I'm bringing you in. So, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? Jeff, that was some kind of introduction to my channel, man. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I told you I'd take care of you. I told you I'd hype you anytime, any chance I get, man. You've got an interesting story. That's the thing. I mean, you dug yourself up from the hardships that you were going through, and you bettered yourself for it. You're losing weight on top of that, which I know you've talked about in your videos.
Yeah.
So you've done the things that you needed to do to correct your life and your lifestyle. So I respect that. Similar case on my side too, in a way. So that's, I think, why you and I relate so well sometimes. Because I didn't go through to the extent that you did, but I've been there. I kind of got an idea,
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I was kind of struck because you spent like two or 3 minutes talking about it. I was like, wow, he's really putting me over tonight. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, you got a good story, man. It's people need to listen to it, and you need to take advantage of what you
might get a kick out of. You might get a kick out of not my last video, but the video before that.
Yeah,
I talk about a bully who I knew who basically ended up getting his comeuppance, and that's a good one.
You've talked to me about that before, I think, because that sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah, no, the bully was actually my friend too. So when the other kid he was bullying decided to stand up for himself, and he whooped my friend, I just let it happen because I was just like, dude, you brought this on yourself, man. Um, you know, um, but anyway, so you want to talk about Clint Kubiak?
Yeah, go
So
for it. I mean, we're talking about whatever we want tonight. This was kind of going to be more of a, Jay and I had the thought process yesterday when I was on his show to name it like the Raider Rumble, where people can come in and give their takes on Mendoza, good or bad, or indifferent. So,
well, my take on Clint Kubiak is something that doesn't often happen in Raider Nation, and that's nuance. My take on him is pretty good, but there's like room for caution too. I mean, everybody's treating him like the savior of the world right now, but I guarantee you, as soon as the draft comes, if he doesn't select Mendoza, they're all going to turn on him and they're all going to want to run him out of town before he even has a chance to coach.
yeah.
So I don't even listen to what half of Raider Nation has to say anymore. But I'm
I, I,
excited to bring. I'm excited to bring him here. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you saying something?
No, go ahead.
I'm excited to bring him here. I think he's got a lot of potential, but I use caution with it because the fact is he's only got 2 real years of OC experience. And out of that, he's only got 1 successful year. So I'm I'm excited because he has a lot of potential, but I'm using a lot of caution because there's a lot of reason to have caution, I think. I mean, in New Orleans, for example, he had a very talented running back room and he really didn't do anything with it. And it's not like the Saints didn't have weapons on offense. They had Shaheed and Chris Olave and stuff. So, there's reason to be like just kind of roll back the just don't crown him right away is what I'm saying is you know what I'm saying. I just feel like I'm excited, but I'm not as excited as the rest of Raider Nation. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, I get where you're coming from on that, but you got to remember too. I mean, somebody needs to start somewhere when it comes to coaching. They need that opportunity, and he definitely was the hot ticket this year. It's just that, the teams had other thoughts and didn't want to go that route with him, Look at it from our standpoint, with us having so many needs as a team overall, having a brand new head coach for the first time coming in here with everything that we're going to be trying to accomplish, that was definitely the way to go, in my opinion. I mean, he's been his entire career on the offensive side of the ball. He's been at it for a while. He's been on numerous different teams too. But when you look at his past history, it's all been like promotional like type stuff. Like they've all been move ups. They haven't been like staying the same multiple times and then dropping back down. I mean, he's been going up and up and up, across the board. So I mean, he started in 2010. He was with Texas A&M. So he played himself too. He played in Colorado. He's a safety. So I mean, he's got that knowledge as a player too.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know where he played in college.
Yeah, it was 05. What was that? 05. Yeah, 05 to 2009. And he basically got into coaching like a year or so after he got out of college. So again, he's been in the college ranks since, coaching ranks since like 2010, 2011.
Well, the one thing's for sure is he does have amazing potential. I'm just being, a little bit careful with it. I would not be surprised if he doesn't select Mendoza. You know what I'm saying? I would not be surprised if he selects an O lineman or something, which I would not be mad at. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically our deepest need is the O line. Not that our other needs aren't very pressing, because they are, but the deepest need is O line help. So if he snatches one of the better O linemen out of college as our number one pick, I'd be happy with that over Mendoza.
So John Brady says after Kubiak wants to coach the Raiders, I've never heard a coach say that. I want to coach the Raiders. I bet he will say, "Where's Bowers?" once he steps inside the Raiders. Yeah, because there's rumors that when he was still down in New Orleans, that he wanted them to get Bowers. He really wanted Brock Bowers, and didn't happen to him. But now he gets that chance because he really admired what Brock Bowers had done in the college ranks and was chomping at the bit to be able to get a hold of him on the offense. Now he's got him. Once everything's said and done, and it's definitely 100% confirmed, and he's really here for real. I only look for greater things for Brock Bowers. You got a coach that wants to come here because of him, and he's got a young running back. We've got some young features on the offensive line that hopefully step up this upcoming season. So there's some positives. If you really dig deep enough, there's some positives in this cesspool that we call our Raiders roster right now, because it ain't great. Let's face it, it's not good. I mean, when you look at the overall depth and everything involved in this team, some of these guys wouldn't even be starters in some teams, and they're starters on ours just by default this past season,
Well, Raider Will was talking earlier about us bringing in Kirk Cousins for a couple of years if we draft Mendoza, and that would be pretty cool. Kirk Cousins is good enough to do well under a coordinator like Clint Kubiak, I think. You know what I'm saying? He's not Aaron Rodgers, but he can be very good under the right coordination, and Kubiak is the right coordination. So I'd be cool with that. We go draft Mendoza, we sign Kirk Cousins to like a 2-year deal, and we got ourselves a decent quarterback until we develop the future.
JP, I get what you're saying. He's not against Kubiak, but why are so many convinced he is the guy? That's my same question with Mendoza. I'm not against the kid. And people keep misunderstanding what I'm saying. I don't think that I'm not saying that the kid's not good. I'm saying it for other options. And Jason came to my defense in a chat the other day, and I saw that, or in a, I think it was in a chat. That I'm not saying Mendoza's not the kid. I'm just saying there's other options that we seriously need to look at. Like, why is everybody so convinced that he's the guy? Is it because we're picking number one and we need a quarterback so bad that he just falls to us at number one? When if we weren't drafting number one, would he truly be the number one pick? Probably not, unless it was the Jets. So he's not that number one overall, in my opinion. He's not that number one overall best player available at that spot. He's only the number one overall for us because that's what we need as a quarterback. And I'm not denying that we don't need a quarterback. We definitely do. But is he the answer to do that when we could do so many other things? So it's the same thing with the coach. Some people weren't probably in favor of Kubiak, and then some are so convinced that he was the guy. Why do people feel as though so-and-so is the perfect fit for something when we don't know? We don't even know if Kubiak's going to be the right guy. We don't. We just have to wait and see how it plays out. Yeah. Same thing with Mendoza. If we take him, we have to wait and see how that plays out. Don't forget, guys, that the link's in the chat. It's pinned to the top in the full landscape chat. So if you guys want to come in, you want to get on the mic, you want to get on camera, come on in. If you don't want to be on camera, you can just block out the camera so you sit here like this and we can just hear your voice instead of being in the chat typing all night long. Come on in. Link is there. What's up, Rorschach? What's up, man? What's up, Big Luck? The plan is coming together. I think Mendoza is the reason why he is coming. It's possible. Dude was born with a football in the crib. What's up, Jason? What's going on? Just trying to check in with everybody that's here.
It's going to be really interesting to see how he tries to shape the offensive roster. I mean, just even besides the O-line.
Yeah, I get it, Perry. What's up, Chewy? Saints offense was completely injured. It wasn't fully Kubiak's fault. Yeah, that was a disaster that year. Let's see. Alex, Kubiak has stats close to Ben Johnson. Look how they did. I'm excited. I'm neutral. I'll be excited once it's exactly, and that's how I feel right now. I'm because Jason Downs texted me earlier today, and I wasn't feeling great this morning, so I ended up going back to sleep. And I woke up and I had a text from him saying, "What? No going on live for Kubiak or whatever." I told him, I said, first of all, I got too much going on today for me to go on live during the day with my granddaughter's birthday party. But it's like it wasn't like when we signed Pete Carroll last year. Yeah, I jumped on right away because that was a definite. There was no you know, we had to wait till the Super Bowl was over to thing. He still could back out of this. You know, Pete was the day of him signing it, and you know that was different. This here, not until ink is to paper, am I going to feel 100% confident that you know he's here with us. Because, like I said, if someone gets screwed over, or has a history of getting screwed, it's the Raiders, and that's why I can't. I'm not popping fireworks and cheering and screaming. Also,
well, one thing that's
O-line coach to develop our O-line properly last year. Exactly, because we didn't even really technically have an offensive line coach, and that was part of the disaster. What's up, 805? What's going on? And make sure you guys get over at 805 when they go live and do their show, The War Room. Actually, 805, you going on tonight? Aren't you guys usually already on, unless I missed it? But yeah, they do a lot of film breakdown during the season, and he'll be doing a lot of the coverage for you know, potential draft picks coming up. So make sure you get over to his channel.
one thing
Chris,
for sure, Jeff.
Hold on, you got him from Chris from Protect the Shield, and then you got T Severe is the other one. It's the three of them on there on the War Room. So make sure you guys check those guys out. Go ahead.
Well, one thing's for sure about Clint Kubiak, they're going to give him at least 3 years to get things going right. And I wouldn't be surprised if they give him 4 or 5. They're looking at him as their long termer.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure the goal is for him to be here for years. You know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's going to be like a short-term deal. You know. But we'll see. I mean, we don't even know the parameters of what the contract is. You know, there'll be leaks out there saying that, oh, this is what they're probably going to do. It again, until it's signed, I'm not going to say too much about it because we don't know. It's too much speculation as it is with everything else going on in the world of Raider Nation, you know.
Yeah.
What's up, Travis? What's going on, my guy?
I wonder who he'd select as his DC.
That's what I'm curious of. I wonder if when they had their meetings, I'm sure that probably came up, you know, saying, you know, hey, listen, if we're agreeing to this, what are your thoughts for OC and DC? You know, because at that point, if they're available, then SpyTech can start talking to these guys. If that's who he wants to get here, you know, they can start planning this out prior to him even walking in the door. Because regardless, we're going to need one. We need one of each. We need an OC and a DC because we don't have either one right now. You know, yeah, Olsen's still here, but he was just an interim at that point. You know,
I think Clint is going to wipe out the entire staff.
Defensive one.
I don't think Clint is going to keep anybody from the staff on the current staff.
I don't want anybody left here. And I know some people are saying, "What about Leonard?" I don't want anybody left. I don't want anybody left with the Raider way that we've been going through. I want everybody coming in with a brand new mindset, completely like wipe the slate clean, man. Just like it's a dry eraser board. Wipe all that shit off of there, spray it down, clean it really good so it's nice and pearly white, and then let's start over. Start right at the top and just fill that board up with the right people, the right mix.
Yeah. Well, hey, did you hear Mike LaFleur got hired by the Cardinals, right?
Is that a definite?
Yeah, and that one really shocked me too. Because
they were kind of under the gun. There wasn't much out there at this point. You know?
No. What I mean is I'm surprised Mike LaFleur even took that job. Because what's that?
I'm surprised anybody did, to be honest with you. I thought that in Cleveland was going to take forever to hire somebody.
Yeah, but like
there's another guy right there. You just asked, some people are asking about OC and DC. I mean, Schwartz wants out of Cleveland. I mean, he's an option. Yeah. Well, because they passed him over. You know, they didn't even consider him for the head coaching position. You know, second time actually, because Stefanski got hired ahead of him too. So he's like,
is this actually news, or is this something you're just maybe thinking?
What about him wanting out of Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's all over the place, man. It's all over Instagram. It's been everywhere that he wants out because he's just disgusted. He's, you know, it's like, what the fuck, you know.
Well, them not making him head coach, they're probably doing him a favor over there, man. But no, I'm saying I'm surprised Mike LaFleur even accepted the job because, He doesn't strike me as the type of guy that would take Mike Bidwell's shit, you know? So I feel like that's going to be a very, very volatile mix because Mike Bidwell likes to interfere in the coaching.
Just trying to read through the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey says it's all the same shit. No matter who we take in the draft, we still won't be anywhere close to a playoff run. It's going to take a few years. I know Jason's. Yeah, here it is. Let's say Herbert was in the draft instead of Mendoza. Would you take Herbert with the number 1 pick? I don't know.
Hey, who's available for receiver right now that we could get for a true number 1?
Again, that's another thing. We just need so much, man. We need.
Well, we could snatch up a receiver in the offseason, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but who?
Well, that's why I'm asking who's available. Do you know?
You'd have to look at the list off the top of my head. I mean, and I know some people don't want them, but I mean, these are the guys that are the top as far as ability, but they come with baggage. You know, like Pickens. You know, he's got attitude, locker room stuff. You know, that's why Pittsburgh unloaded him to Dallas. You know, he's a free agent. You've got Shaheed from Seattle. He'll be a free agent. That wouldn't be a bad one. I wouldn't be opposed to that one. But then you got some older guys that are veterans, like, and I'm not opposed to this one either. Even Mike Evans, his price tag might not be that bad, but he's such a veteran wide receiver. It would help because we are so young at wide receiver.
Yeah.
You know, between all of them, every single receiver we have in this roster, and because Lockett's gone, he was signed to a 1-year deal. He ain't coming back. You know, he's such a tenured veteran and a damn good one too. He's one of the top receivers in the league. You know, every year in and year out. He would not be a bad option to come in and help groom these young receivers to really help these kids out. And I think that's something that we need to consider. You know.
Well, you know, I think Romeo Doubs is available too, so I wouldn't mind bringing him over here. You know what I'm saying? From the Packers.
What's up, G-Fam?
What do you think about that?
As far as what? Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said Romeo Doubs will be available too. So what do you think about bringing him over?
Is he though?
I'm pretty sure his contract comes up this year.
All right. Let me do this then. Everyone look. Get through the wide receivers.
Hey Jeff, real quick. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be backstage. If you need anything, just holler. I'll help you out with this.
All right. Thank you. Let me just get through the rest of this chat first, because I'm going to bring up the free agents. This is our shot. We get the number 1 pick, 10 picks in total, and close to $100 million in cap space. You can't screw this up, or it'll be another 10 years before we get another shot.
We have 118.
Screw it up. We'll be the first pick again next year. What's up, AO? Yeah, see, rumors are already come out. They're saying it's a 6-year deal is what they're going to sign to. Yep, see, yep. That's the rumor. Yeah, I don't believe anything.
Oh. If they're really offering him a 6-year deal up front, they must really like him.
Again, he was the number 1 on that list from the get-go, pretty much, from what it seems. I'd like the Raiders to draft linebacker Hill in the 2nd round to stabilize linebacker room. Mike Carrero, fire Deuce Gruden next, right? Word is bringing Seattle DC with him. I wouldn't mind that other kid, Ja Rader, and he brought it up to my attention about a week or so ago. The kid Bennett, the offensive line coach. If we could get him, would be nice. Because I've seen the numbers on what he's done with that offensive line since he's been there and how they've improved in that time frame.
Sure.
Yeah, Brendan Carroll. Yeah, let's keep Carroll.
So, Jeff, if I can get my back surgery in time,
yeah,
I'm going to try to go to one Raider game this year somewhere.
All right. Do you know which one you'd want to go do, or is it you're going to wait and see what time frame?
Well, I mean, I would like to go to one closest to where I'm at, but there's not many cities close to Des Moines that the Raiders usually play.
Closest.
Well, Kansas City.
KC?
Kansas City, yeah. You're right. Kansas City's about 5 hours, I believe.
That would definitely be the closest.
Yeah. I mean, unless they play the Vikings magically this year. Otherwise, if I were to take a long drive, which I should be able to do after my surgery, once I recover, I might come out for an East Coast game if they're. I know there's a bunch of them again, right?
There's 2 on the East Coast next year. It's we're coming back here to New England and New York City for the Jets.
Huh. Well, I'd probably choose the New England one just to link up with you if I came to that game. One
I'm
of those
going
games.
to the New York one too, so either one you'll catch me. I'll be at either one.
I don't know if I want to deal with New York traffic, man.
Well, you're going to be in New Jersey anyway, so that's the good thing. Because the games in New Jersey, depends on where we do all the functions and everything for the weekend. The New England one, I'm seriously shooting for this season, for this game. Pretty much going to do everything up in the Boston area. I'm not going to do anything in Rhode Island this time. Because most of the people that came here stayed in Boston anyway. So it's a lot of traveling back and forth for a lot of these, a lot of these fans. A good chunk still stayed in Rhode Island, but I'd rather do it in Boston. There's more options to do stuff in Boston. Plus, when we were up there, I was able to partake in some other locations that we never heard of before that just would work out perfect if people come out in mass this year. If a lot of people come out, then these are places that we're going to want to definitely, use as an option, depending on the weather. That's the problem. Yeah, he wants to get out of there, G-Fam. Whether they fire him or release him or whatever they do. All I know is I don't want to do a trade for him. Hell no. I don't want to trade for a head coach, let alone a coordinator's job.
Who do we all play this year, Jeff?
What, the actual schedule?
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up off the top of my head. You're going to have to give me a few minutes here. Alex Pierce, that's the other wide receiver. There it is. Jarrett just said it. Yeah. I keep seeing teams go from 3 or 14 to Super Bowl teams. Yeah, you're right, too. I mean, or at least not Super Bowl teams. Well, the Patriots are fuckers.
Yeah. Yeah, Seattle's going to stomp them boys really good.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm not even a Patriot hater. I'm just looking at the actual rosters and the actual way, everything else.
Why do you want Debo? I don't want Debo. You're talking Debo Samuel? Oh, hell no.
Debo Samuel.
No. If he's saying Debo, no. What?
Maybe he means Debo from the movie Friday.
Neil, if you come over to YouTube, it's in the chat. I put it in the chat. Dobbs, big target, Butterfingers. Yeah, I'm not about Dobbs either. I would definitely be all right with Shaheed. What's up, Rick? How we doing? I'm in Jersey. Handicap card for your car. The Meadowlands Pocket staff will put you at the front door for the Jets game. Well, that would be good for me because I got one. Thank God Patrick Graham is gone. Yeah, I'm so glad he's gone. I mean, how many regimes is this guy going to make it through before they finally say, hey, you know what? Bye. So he's out. Again, everybody, the link is in the chat. Come on in, man. It's open mic. Anybody can get in here. Let's have some fun tonight. I did this for you guys. I did this for the fans tonight to come in and talk it up and let's get some shit going. I didn't realize Vera and them were going on tonight too. Shit, I thought they were already going to be on. I would have started earlier.
Rashid Shaheed sometimes has like effort issues. There's times where he don't do his best to get those 50-50 balls and stuff. So he could be a problem in that way. But when he wants to be on, he's on too.
Second most important hire is offensive line coach. Oh, definitely. With what we went through last year, we have to. All right, so let me do this. Let me look up here's the free agent wide receivers right now. This is going in order of their contract value from the 2025 season. Okay. So number one on the list is Mike Evans. He was getting paid $20 million. His market value this coming season will be about $13 million. Then you got Christian Kirk, Debo Samuel, Tutu Atwell, Adam Thielen, which I think he's retiring.
Oh, those are a lot of older guys.
Marquise, yeah, that's what I mean. Marquise Brown. I'm just skipping through here. Rashid Shaheed. His
Yeah,
market
you
value
don't need everybody.
is about 14 million.
Who's
Keenan
Shaheed?
Allen out there, but he's 33. Did you say Johan Dotson, like from the Eagles? Is that who you were talking about?
Me? I was talking about Romeo Dobbs.
Alec Pierce is on here, but his value is at 20 million now because of the year he just had.
How old is he?
How old is he? He's 25. Yeah. 26 by the time the season starts.
Okay, there we go.
Romeo Dobbs, his value will be about 12 mil. He's 20. He'll be 26 at the start.
Then he's worth it.
Let's see. The rest of these guys are all a dime a dozen. Pickens' value is going to be high. That's the problem. He's 24. He'll be 25 at the start. His market value is like 30 mil right now. Wandale Robinson, that's another one from the Giants. He's 25. He'll still be 25 when the season starts. He's at 17 mil market value. Hunter Renfro's still out there.
Renfro.
Keenan Allen's too damn old. He's 33. He'll be 34 by the start. DeAndre Hopkins, same age, 33. He'll be 34.
Who has Hunter Renfro right now?
Carolina.
Yeah, okay.
Evans will be 33 when the season starts. He's 32 in 4 months. But like I said, I would take him in a hot beat, especially at 13 mil, to come in and just help grow these guys. I'm not sold on Debo, man. And his contract will show it too. He got 17 mil last year. His market value is only about 13. You could get him on the cheap, possibly, but I don't trust him. I don't trust his injuries.
Hey, real quick, Skipper, one free agent that's a restricted free agent is going to be Walker from Seattle as well. Pay attention to that.
Yeah, running back. Yeah, I was just looking at wide receivers. No, I knew he was available too.
Zach Wilson or Bison from the Cardinals could be available too.
Yeah, Nate, I get that. I'm just saying it's just pure. He's better than what we have. I will say that. Let me some Debo Samuel. He's a solid number 3 behind Pearson. Yeah, I'm still not sold on Debo. He hasn't been the same since when he was really good in San Fran. Pierce is going to be expensive, man. That's a lot of fucking money. Happy birthday, Father Penn. You're welcome in, my guy. Happy birthday.
Romeo Dobbs for 12 mil, Jeff. That's a steal. Romeo Dobbs is good.
Yeah. See, Rick says Debo's a diva. Hell no. Frank says hell no.
Hey, you didn't give your thoughts on the bringing Kirk Cousins in.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of that.
I mean, if we draft Mendoza, I mean.
I'm not in on Kirk Cousins. Not at all.
Who would you like to bring in?
Not even one bit. I don't think I want to bring anybody in. I mean, the exception, maybe Mac Jones, if we can swing it somehow. I don't know, but I just Kirk Cousins, no. I don't see that.
So you would want to just throw Mendoza right out there?
No, I don't even want Mendoza. I'm not even looking to grab a quarterback with that first pick. Everybody knows my take on what we should do with the number one.
I mean, if we do draft Mendoza, who would you want to lead him for a couple of years?
Let the coaches decide at that point, because at that point I don't care who goes out there, but I just don't think he should be starting. Look at it this way, okay? So again, everything that we're talking about, you have to base it on the current roster that we have right in the moment as we're talking. And then the moment that we're talking, our quarterback room is Geno Smith, who's still under contract for another year, Aiden O'Connell, who's still under contract for another year, and Pickens, I think Pickens is out. So that's it. Those are your 2 quarterbacks. That's all we have right now. So we either keep Gino and we have to start him, okay? Before everybody crucifies me in the chat, just hear me the frig out. We would have to start him, or if we don't want him, we either trade him away, not sure what the hell we'd even get for him. Keep in mind, we gave up a third round for him in the first place, okay? So you're not going to get that same value back. You're going to lose in this case, okay? But if you don't keep Gino and you don't trade him and you cut him, we have dead cap space now because of that. And we don't have that extra ability to put another quarterback out there or an option for another quarterback, okay? So, yeah, and that's the other thing too, Frank. Cousins would be an expensive mentor. When you're already paying Gino, might as well just keep him and let him. As much as people don't want to hear it, with a different offense, different OC, different head coach, things could be different. With a better offensive line, things could be different. I'm not saying that Gino's the savior. I'm just saying let him play out the contract for 1 year. If it's Mendoza that we draft, let him sit behind. Let him be number 3 on the roster, basically. So we don't put him out there when he's not fully ready and take a chance of hurting this kid before it's time to really let him go out there and shine. Fans have to realize that there's a chance we don't win many games again this coming season, okay? But everything's go. We got a tough schedule. Our schedule is not easy with the teams we have to play next year, okay? So that's number one. We got some tough teams to play. So we're probably going to be in the same win category that we were last year. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with taking another hit for another year until we get things in place. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if anybody's thinking that Mendoza's going to come in and be this savior and going to just light it up, then it's just not going to happen. If it does, it's a miracle. Okay. It would be a goddamn miracle because there's other things that we need on this team that we're not going to be able to fulfill this year because we're just not going to have the money to do it or the players that want to come over. If we start showing some promise that the team's going in the right direction, it might be easier to get some of these higher profile players that would be a blessing for this roster that would really help propel us to the next level. So this is going to take baby steps, and Raider fans are not patient. You've seen that. You've seen it in the last couple of years with head coaches and certain players. Raider fans are not patient. By far, they are not patient. And I know we've been waiting a long time, but you got to give time for this to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, I understand some people are mad that we fired Pete just because we're fired another coach, but that was a situation that had to happen. Like there's no getting around that. There's no way you could run it back with Pete.
Afakasi, it's Hobo Raider.
Huh?
What's up, Roseanne? Afakasi just asked who's that on the right.
This is Clint Kubiak.
Yeah. I don't want Gino to be anywhere near Mendoza if we draft him.
Well, Gino could teach him what not to do, and he could learn from that.
Yeah. What's up, Raider Pete? What's going on, my guy? Afakasi, what's up, man? I didn't see you sneak in here until just when I saw that chat. I believe in miracles. I do too. Right. Look at the 1980 U.S. hockey team. Believe in miracles, baby.
Hey, real quick, Skipper.
Yeah.
Real quick, Skipper. The link is posted again in the chat. If anybody's interested in coming on, see the link. Click it. Come on in.
Pat was not in that rated. I think Pat was not in that rated. I don't know what he means. What's
I
up,
think we
Duncan?
have about 6 wins, Jeff.
Huh?
I say 6 wins.
I don't care how many wins we get, as long as we show improvement overall as a team. That's a better coach team.
Yeah.
Better execution. And if we lose games because the other teams are that much better, then so be it. It's what it is. What are you going to do? We have to deal with it, unfortunately.
Just make it fun. Just make it fun for us to watch.
Yeah.
Because I would have rather watched grass grow than most of those games last year.
Let's put it this way, Neil. If you come over to YouTube, it's in the chat. Let's put it this way: I don't want to go to a game and see what I saw when I went to the Philly game. I don't want to see. I don't want to see our team come out of the tunnel flat, like they don't even want to be there. They're just there to just collect the paycheck, finish off the day, and let's just get out of here and out of the cold and get back to Vegas. I don't want to see that again this year. That's where I'm going to look for improvements, is the overall mentality of the players.
Yep.
Morale better? Are they getting along? Are they showing growth on the sidelines? Is Max Crosby, if he's still here, still sitting at the end of the bench by himself away from everybody because he doesn't want to be bothered with anybody because he's so miserable? I want to see him sitting with the rest of the defense, which I didn't see in Philly. He sat by himself the entire game every time he came off the damn field. Never sat and talked with anybody because he just did not want to deal with anybody. And nobody even went near him. Nobody even approached him to go and sit next to him, to even strike up conversation. He sat there by himself at the furthest end from the bench away from everybody the entire game. Granted, I'm sure he was exhausted because the defense was out there the entire game nonstop, So, I that's what I don't want to see this coming season. I want to see improvement there. I want to see improvement to the point where the team is maturing together, where everybody's getting along for the most part. There's a feeling of, hey, we're making the right decisions now. Again, we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to come out and we're not going to go 17-0. It's just not going to happen. If it does, again, it's a goddamn miracle. But it's like you gotta take the good with the bad. So if it takes us a while, then we got to deal with it. Shout out to my guy Neil. That's Neil. That was on YouTube. He just jumped over here to. He was on Facebook. He just jumped over from YouTube. I appreciate you, brother, for signing up as a member. You're my guy. I've known him for a long time. He used to be in the Boosting Club with me up here.
Oh, yeah?
But now he's down in Florida, and he's actually joined the Black Hole. He's part of my chapter.
Very cool.
Long-distance chapter member. Where were we on the chat here? Let's see. So what's up with who's going to be the DC? Schwartz will walk soon. At this point, who knows what we're going to get for OCD? And just like that, I was by myself. Okay.
I'm still here in case you need me. I don't want you to get lonely.
No, you're good. Let's see. So what's up? Who's going to be the DC? Schwartz will walk. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that that's the case. There's options out there for DC. I don't know the full availability for what's out there for coaches for it, but again, it's going to be what Kubiak's going to want to do, what he's going to feel comfortable with coming in with him once he fully takes over. You're welcome, Robert. Happy birthday again, my guy. You old fart. Let's see. Being today, we almost did a huge trade to get McCarthy last year. Yeah, JJ McCarthy. Yeah, I'm good on that one. Kubiak, fix the red zone issue. That's been our Achilles on offense. Yeah, and granted, Brock Bowers did exactly what I was hoping he was going to do this past season, which was get more time in the end zone, which he did. He ended up with 7 touchdowns this year versus the 4 from the year before. I want to see more of that. I want to see him getting like up to 10 or more touchdowns to really get him in the end zone a lot more. Why wouldn't you? Especially once you're in the red zone. Let's see. I think Raiders fans want a complete team early on. We lose because we don't have hosses. Yeah, we don't lose because we were just incompetent. Well, we have been losing because we were pretty incompetent this past season, if you ask me. It was pretty brutal. But no, you're right, though. We don't have the guys up front to really support, a very well-run offense, But again, I'm still under the feeling that I don't think it was necessarily, in some cases, truly just the talent issue. It was the coaching for sure. It's shown with, it's shown with the way we found out about Brennan Carroll towards the end of the season that he wasn't really doing his job, and Spytek was having to do what he did to try and get these guys set up and learning and help them be better at their job. So it's like, what the fuck? So I still think there was a lot of decent talent on the offensive line. Like, I honestly think Caleb Rogers probably would have been starting earlier if it was pretty much anybody else out there. You know, I was pushing for him to hopefully be starting before the bye week or even after the bye week. You know, I would have thought he would have been a starter on the offensive line. And when he finally did get a chance, I thought he's shown out and he was good. What's up, Afakasi? How we doing? Mendoza? Looks like two O's.
That's all I gotta say. Peace.
What, did he just come in to say that and leave the fucker? What the hell was that?
Yeah, we got Florida Raiders backstage. He's still not connected. As soon as he's come on, we'll push him up on the
Yeah, that's
stage.
cool. No, you're cool. You're cool, Hobo. No worries, man. Yeah, gee, Jason's in the background just playing around with everything. I can see him moving shit around. I like us trying to have a Kubiak as the zone run scheme. We've always failed with it. We have, but again, how much was the coaching the issue too? I don't know. It's all going to depend on what we can do with what we bring in for additional offensive linemen. You know, do they bring in guys that are better at running that scheme? I mean, obviously, he's going to want players that are going to work well with whatever he's coming up with for an offensive scheme. You know, again, it still remains to be seen. Until we get all the other pieces in on this coaching staff, it's going to be tough to see the full direction where we're going with this. I've got patience with this, and usually I'm not a very patient guy, but I know that it's going to take some time. You know, so I'm here for the long haul. Been a fan since '75, so I ain't going anywhere.
All right, we got Florida Raider backstage coming up on stage, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, once they come in, just put them up. That's fine. Hey, what's up, All Eyes? What's going on?
Thanks.
What's up, Neil? How you been?
Hey, what's going on there, Jeff, man? You see the way I'm dressed tonight. You know, you see the way I'm dressed tonight. You know, I'm cold as hell down here. And it's supposed to be like 50, 40 degrees now. It's in the 20s. I'm like, come on.
You got your flannels on? Let me adjust your mic here a little bit.
Yeah.
Brian, talk again?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right, that's a little bit
Hello?
better.
Hello?
Yeah, you sound a little muffled, but I thought it was something on my end I could fix, but I think you're good. But what's up, man? It's been a while since I've had you on.
So anyways, you know, I'm seeing about this new coaching. Why are we taking another Seattle guy?
Why did we pick another Seattle guy? Because I think
Why are we picking up another Seattle guy? We just fired one, Pat. Petey, you know, we just, you know.
It's kind of what most of Raider Nation wanted was an offensive-minded head coach. You know, Pete Carroll was not an offensive-minded head coach. Pete Carroll was defensive all the way. You know, and with the talent we have on offense, getting an offensive-minded head coach was definitely priority. And obviously, the team saw that need, that's what they needed to do. You know.
Yeah, but he's not a Raider.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a Raider. He's not a Raider-minded coach. I mean, we had Raider-minded coaches.
Yeah, who's going to be?
I don't know. I mean, maybe hire. Do we have any old players who are out now and can play the game?
Yeah. Play again, man. There's very few players that turn pro head coaches.
Look at the Patriots. They got Mike Vrabel.
I'm not sitting. I don't want to do an experiment with a former player as a head coach. I'm sorry. I know people are like, well, what about Derek Carr? Because you've seen those in chats. I've seen it in chats. I've seen it in comments. I've seen it on Instagram. What about Derek? I'm like, are you serious? Derek Carr is the head coach? Get the frig out of here. You know, there's very few circumstances where a former player is turned into a good head coach. You know, guys that you would think would be great head coaches never even entered the coaching ranks, like a Peyton Manning. Like, I thought Peyton Manning would be a tremendous, at least start off as a quarterback coach and let him go up from there. You know, Brady, same thing with him. He could have started off as a QB coach and then be groomed into that position to eventually be an OC and then possibly take over as a head coach. Mike Vrabel, it's worked very well for him, but he had that mindset. He's a tough son of a bitch, you know, which is why so many people really wanted him as a head coach, because he's got that mentality. You see it when he comes off the field with the team, the way that the team just reacts to him. They love him there. And I hate every minute of it living here in New England. And you know that, Neil. You lived up here long enough how much the disgust for the Patriots is for us. We hate it. I hate the fact that they're playing in that game next Sunday.
I just wish that we could find someone who could. Well, I'm for Seattle next month, so. But I guess my brain's in backflow. I mean, I guess it's in 1970s.
What's up, Afakasi? What happened? You just came in to show your shirt and then ran out of the room? Bastard.
Yep. Short and sweet. That's all it is.
Who is this smiling son of a bitch? That's what I want to know. Who's this smiling son of a bitch? You know?
Who you calling the son of a bitch?
That's not, no. That's not Mendoza. That's menstruation. That's menstruation right there. Menstruation. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Anyway, so what's going on?
Not much. Just sitting here chilling. Figured I'd do an open mic night tonight for the hell of it. Seeing as though,
Yeah, I see it.
With what went on today with, the potential head coach that we're going to get. I'm not saying the head coach, not until it's sealed.
I get that. I get it.
I'm
kind of there. I'm kind of there with you too.
Yeah.
Kind of there with you too.
And Jason said it earlier in the chat. It's like, if there's a team that gets screwed over, it's us. And, and it's happened recently, not with just us. I'm talking with other teams where they agree to terms with a head coach, and then last minute he's like, fuck you, I'm out.
Didn't McDaniels do that?
The Colts.
Before he signed to us? Yeah.
Yep, Colts. Now, Bill Belichick did it with the Jets. He resigned on a napkin and then went back to New England.
I just don't know.
It happens. So it'd be different if Seattle had lost last week and they were Kubiak was available and we talked to him, we confirmed it, and then all of a sudden tomorrow's the press con. Great, let's celebrate. Not until next Tuesday. I'm not celebrating shit.
Although
little tidbit on the history in the same subject with Avocasi. In 2004, Sean Payton did the exact same thing to us. We actually had a press conference scheduled to announce him as our head coach. He got a phone call from Bill Parcells telling him, you might want to think about not taking that job. It might not be the right job for you. And Sean Payton, to this day, still brags about having the suit he was going to wear to that press conference. So, yes, it can happen, has happened, and it just seems our franchise is subject to that stupidity more than others. In the meantime, I'll be backstage. See ya.
Take care, Jace.
Like I said,
it's all good.
Be a solid coach and let's build.
Honestly, I think like when I was live the other night with Raider Love and on 6. Raider Love said it best. Look, let's just get our coach, get our guy, and let's go. I care, but I don't care who it is. But since all signs or all roads seem to lead to Rome, I mean, it's all pointing at Kubiak. Kubiak is the guy, and I'm right there with you, Jeff. Like I'm going to pump the brakes until he's officially the guy. But if he is the guy, which seems to be pointing at, I do like that it's someone younger. I do like that we're going young, something fresh, something new, which is what I want, because everything else we've tried hasn't worked. So let's try new things. Let's try doing it something new, something we haven't tried, which is a head coach that, okay, he doesn't have experience as a head coach, but he has he has good credentials and a resume that has been successful. I mean, he was the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. They're in the Super Bowl, right? So I'm willing to give it a chance. See how it shakes out. I'm going to get, if he is our head coach or whoever is our head coach, I'm going to get behind him and let's go.
And I agree. I mean, I agree on the most part. I mean, we just need a solid head coach.
And I think, all signs pointed to Kubiak. I think he is that guy. I think he's definitely that potential. I mean, again, we don't know yet until the season, until we start training camp and all that, and we see what the direction is and, which way we're going with this. I mean, jury's still out on this, so we don't know. It's like,
I just had another thought about that as well.
Good.
When we did hire Gruden the first time around, did he have any head coaching experience before that? or was he just a coordinator?
He was a coordinator. We were his first head coach.
So there is that. I mean, when we did go that direction of getting someone young, because Gruden was young, very young at the time, who had experience as a coordinator, not so much as a head coach. It seemed to work out then. So it can work. Will it work? I'm going to stay in hopeful mode until proven otherwise. I mean, that's all we got right now, right?
No, I get it.
But I'm all for going for someone young, something fresh. Let's just get
like I said earlier, it's like you got to somebody always they need a starting point at some point. Somebody needs to take a chance on somebody to give them that position. We did that with Lane Kiffin, didn't work out that great. We did that with Gruden, worked out great his first time around, until him and Al Davis had a falling out. Tom Flores, it worked out. He got that chance to be the head coach, worked out for him. John Madden, same thing. We gave him a shot at head coach, worked out for him. Art Shell worked out for a while with him on his first go around with us. So it does work in some cases. Look at McVay, another guy that was a coordinator before, gets hired as a head coach. He's already won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 of them since he's been there in LA. Everybody needs that starting point at some point. Some make it, some don't.
So
Josh McDaniels, perfect example. Broncos gave him a shot years ago, didn't work out, and then we like idiots hired him, and it didn't work out.
We gave AP a chance, it didn't work out. There's another example. There's examples where it does work out, but there's examples also for it, to your point, working out.
Yep.
And look, like I said, I'm just going to see how it shakes out. And if he is the guy, I'm going to get behind him.
We need to make sure our lines at least give 4 seconds off the ball.
Neil, you're really hard to hear, man. I don't know what
I don't know what it is. I'm hearing double over here.
You still got it on somewhere? If you're still watching the original show, that might be why.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking right now. Yeah.
You might have to, if you've got a YouTube panel open, that's what's going to give you feedback.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
What about my YouTube feed? Is it coming through okay? Because I've been having a lot of problems with my internet lately.
Your voice is perfect. I can hear you crystal clear. There's no distortion in your voice. Your camera's fine. So you're good, which is unusual. Usually you have a lot of issues, like the connection,
Yeah, well, of late I've been having a few issues with my connection. My internet, I'm going to have to situate that sometime. So yeah, just haven't had a chance.
Figure it out, Neil.
How are you hearing me now?
A little bit better, I think.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. What's up, John Parker? What's going on, man? So, you know what? I think this is a perfect time to try this now. So we've got 42 people in the channel right now. So I made, at the request of Raider Will on Jay's show, he said, Jeff, get on it, make a song for Mendoza, because he's tired of hearing the Fernando Mendoza song from ABBA. So I said, okay. So before the show was even done, while he was still on with Jay, I said, song's done. I already had it done. So I'm going to play it for everybody now.
You're using pseudo, aren't you? You're using pseudo, aren't you, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some fun with this, okay? So I'm going to play this one first. So this is a legit song that I've made, right? And then I made some spoofs, which I think are absolutely hilarious. So we're going to play those too, but I'm going to play this one first. You ready? Here we go.
They said the Raiders were finished. They said the future was lost. But every era gets a moment. Every franchise gets a name. Silver and black, been bleeding for years. Draft nights heavy, full of doubts and fears. New regime, new vision, time to ascend. Need a leader, not just another trend. Pressure on the shoulders, lights on bright. Whole damn league watching draft night. Not a promise, not a wish, not a lie. This is where legends rise. When the pocket's collapsing, when the noise gets loud, that's when leaders separate from the crowd. Fernando Mendoza, savior of the game. Silver and black destiny, remember the name. From the ashes, Vegas, from college nights to Sunday wars. Every snap screaming, give me more. No shortcuts, no running away. He wants to smoke, let him play. When the pocket breaks, when the game's on the line, that's when saviors are defined. Fernando Mendoza, savior of the game, silver and black destiny. Remember the name, from the ashes, from the doubt, from the pain. Way the nation rises, never the same. Fernando Mendoza, lead us forward, built for this moment, fully armored. Past is gone, future's alive. Greater football, revive. No more reaching, no more hoping. This one's different, this one's chosen. Vegas waits, the shield stands tall. Answer the call. Answer the call. Fernando Mendoza, savior QB1. Silver and black era has begun. From draft night dreams to Lombardi goals, he carries the shield, heart and soul. Fernando Mendoza, hear the crowd. Raiders, Raiders, Raiders. This ain't hype, this is belief. Fernando Mendoza, Raider Nation finally complete. From chaos comes clarity. From doubt comes the leader. Raider Nation, meet your quarterback. They said the Raiders.
Okay, that was it.
I'm trying to look over this roster
Isn't that
here.
better than the ABBA song, though? I'm tired of hearing the ABBA song.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a kid of the 70s, so I heard that shit when I was a kid, and it drove me nuts then. Now I'm listening to it again 40, 50 years later. It's like, oh.
I'd like to know how we go from beating and losing to everybody to beating New England in the last game of the year here.
Because they weren't put together yet. They weren't.
They weren't put together now. I want to see them put together for always. I'm just wondering, like I said, two lines. Defensive line, offensive line. Who do you figure needs to be stay and replace? Because they weren't protecting the quarterback too damn well because, we had problems. You got to give 4 seconds to the quarterback to let him throw. When they're rushing, you got to make that hole for the running back, the fullback, the halfback. They got to get through there. You got to do some yards, okay? Who's blocking? And then we go who's with the everybody got their assignments. They're blocking, and they get making some yards on defense. That we have to penetrate everybody's offense. We got to make sure we get in there. We got to make sure we get the quarterback. Pressure the quarterback will get him. And if the running back or the fullback comes through, then we need to make sure he's got no hole to run through. And it's just what I'm seeing. And it's like the Raiders don't, if you got the great defense, you win championships. If you got a great offense, you win games. But great, it still goes by that same old analogy. Great defense wins great championships. So maybe we should concentrate a little bit on that defense and making sure our line and our secondary are doing their jobs.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Defense is going to need an overhaul across the board. There's not. I said, Dave, you wanted to talk about like the roster, not in terms of the lines and that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, like to your point, offense wins games, defense wins championships. I agree, both of them go hand in hand, but like in terms of the defense, we need an overhaul across the board. I mean, there's only one guy, in my personal opinion, who's really a bona fide cornerstone of the team on that side of the ball, and that's Max Crosby. Who else is there that can't be replaced? I'd say everybody that's there can be replaced. We can find somebody better. If we do find somebody better, that's the hope. Or we're going to need guys to step up and be more than what they were last year, the season before that, and until we see otherwise, it's
I agree.
We were last place in the league for a reason, right?
I agree, and it's like I said, you gotta, like I said, Max Crosby is definitely a defining moment. I wish we'd have kept the guy we traded off to Chicago, and then he went to San Diego. I mean, I wish we could have kept that guy because him and Crosby
Who are you talking about?
with a supporting cast there could have really
Talking about Khalil Mack.
rained hell, you know.
Who
What are you talking about?
Neil,
Khalil
you
Mack.
talking about Khalil Mack?
Yeah, Mac. Yeah, if Mac and Crosby were together, imagine how devastating they would be.
Yeah, they were never on
Oh,
the same.
yeah.
They were on the team
Right.
together, but yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was
Yeah,
that was 7 years ago, man.
I know,
Well,
but
7 years
still,
ago.
I look at the past and I see the mistakes they made because of money issues, and my problem is you know, you have two greats that you could have been on the same team if you would have planned it right, and it would have turned out great for them. You know, I mean, you still got some solid guys out there, but I see a problem with the secondary as well. And I agree with you. You gotta overhaul the whole damn thing around Crosby. Maybe we should just make it around Crosby, have everybody support Crosby, and have us get some penetration in there where we're hitting quarterbacks, hitting running backs, hitting fullbacks. They're not making new yardage.
Well, more recent, like I agree. I mean, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I've said it many times in previous lives. If we're looking at that specifically about what you said about Khalil Mack, you know, I'm right there with you. Like, you do not trade away generational talents, and I do not throw that word out lightly, in the prime of their career. You keep them in the door by whatever means necessary. I don't care how much money you have to throw at them. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's history. That's 7 years ago. But if we're going to talk more recent history, I agree with Jason. I mean, we rolled the dice with Kuntz coming back healthy and coming back to form. He just wasn't the guy we were hoping he showed flashes of back in 2023. Whereas Chason went on to we let him walk. He signed on to the Patriots on a very cheap deal, a deal I thought we could have matched. And now he's he's having himself a season, and he's going to get himself the bag next year. So, you know, another blunder from our last regime's decision making. But you know, here we are now. We're just going to have to make up with it.
Yeah, I just remember how many times at the bar, me and Jeff was sitting there watching a game, and we look at what happened, and we're like, all of a sudden bad happened. We're shaking our heads. We're being like, come on, you know,
So,
you guys could do better.
20 plus years, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, people question me, well, why are you a Raider? You know, why are you with the Raiders for so long? It's because I love the team. I mean, I was out in California when they played down in LA. I went and see them when they played in Oakland. I mean, I've stuck with the team for years because, you know, like you have those tiny glimpses like 96, you know, you've had those 3 championships, which we had in the 80s and close to the 90s. And it's so sad that we have all that talent and we're not doing so well.
And right now, we're not doing so well, and we don't have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So it's the needle's way over here to the red.
Yeah.
You know, we need to get it back more towards the mid area, so
Yeah.
we're like in the middle of the pack to start. You know,
I mean,
we're nowhere near ready for that right now. Not with what we got on this team.
I wish we were. I wish we were.
Well, on the flip side to that, I mean, look, like, it sucks to have gone through what we went through, but now that we're here, I'm glad that we're here, that we have the number 1 pick. We're going to be picking early every round of the draft. We have a lot of room to move with the salary cap situation. So we have the ammunition to turn it around. It looks like we're going to hire a head coach that's going to be young, that hopefully brings something new and maybe revolutionary to the table. You know what I'm saying? And can lead us.
No quarterbacks from LSU. No quarterbacks from LSU.
Right. There's probably not anyone worth a damn anyone. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yes, we're here, and that's the floor. But you cannot get any worse. We were literally the worst team in the league. So the only thing we can do is go up. And I'm willing to give it time to go up. It doesn't have to skyrocket if we can get there. I mean, hey, we're all going to be happy, right? But
if we hit the jackpot, automatically. If we hit the jackpot, absolutely.
Right.
But I agree with you.
Right
now, where we're at,
we're right here, right here at the very bottom. There's the only way is up, and like it's different in years past, recent times, because we've expected a little bit better each year. than we did previously. Like, say, even when we hired AP, when we hired Pete Carroll, we expected to be better than the season before. We didn't expect to be so damn low. But now that we're here, all we can do is trend upwards. If we don't, the wins and losses next season for me isn't going to tell the full story. What I'm going to be looking at is just give us enough hope that we can be better in time, much like back in 2014 and 15. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I said before you came on. I was saying that it's like I want to see that progression of what's going on in the sidelines in the locker room, that we're meshing together as a team in a well-oiled machine. We may not have the right product on the field that's getting us the wins and the high points and everything that everybody wants. Everybody wants us to win 52-0 every single game. Not going to happen. You know, I want to see the productivity of how the team is being put together, how they're gelling, and I don't want to see what I saw in Philly again. I can't go through that again because that was just brutal. Watching that team just sit there flat from the moment they walked out of the tunnel till the time they went back in at the end of the game. It was disgusting.
Do you think that was them expecting to lose or something like that? Do you think they're already forecasting, Jeff, that they were going to lose that game?
Oh, I'm sure they did. I mean, first of all, Kenny Pickett was starting. It was freezing cold. We had basically a blizzard to start that morning off. I mean, we started the tailgate with like whiteout conditions where I was in the parking lot, I could barely even see Lincoln Lincoln Financial Field from where we were. We were the closest lot to the stadium.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see it. It was snowing so hard. Freezing cold. It was miserable. Raider fans showed up in ridiculous numbers. We still had a great time in the tailgate, you know, and it just, you knew they weren't going to win that game. Me as a fan, I knew we really didn't have a legit shot to win that game, especially with Pickett starting it. We were just going to be outmatched, and it ended up being worse than I thought it was going to be. You know, everybody thought that KC game was bad and how Andy Reid was just toying with us. Yeah. This felt even worse. I mean, the second fastest game in NFL history. We had the ball for 17 minutes and 52 seconds. That game was a month and a half ago, and I still remember how much time we held the ball for. It was a 2-hour and 35-minute game. Sitting in the stand in the cold, it felt like it was 5 hours sitting inside that stadium, but we were only inside for about 3 hours. So it was cold.
I can imagine. I can imagine how cold it was over there. And then, like I said, when you have a team that doesn't even come out and play, it's like you're watching that and you're sitting miserable, and you're like, I'm cold, I'm miserable, and now I got to watch a team that's not even playing today. And it's just like, why did I come down? Made us all his way from Providence to all the way down to Philly, and then there's a no-show, you know.
Yep.
Hey, Skipper.
I hope the tailgate experience is going to make it worth, or at least.
Well, that's just it, and that's what I said the whole weekend. The being around the Raider fans and enjoying that weekend, that's what did it for me. The game was just like an added bonus. Taking my wife to her first NFL and first Raiders game, she had a blast. You know, what's up?
Hey, Skipper. Tonight is Robert Pena's birthday. He gives us a little Raiders. So we do a little happy birthday for a little happy birthday something for Robert Pena. This is for you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Robert, that's my guy.
Happy birthday,
Robert. He's been a day one of mine since I started making this semi-regular back in 2021. He's been rocking with me since day dot when a lot of other people weren't. Robert was one of the first to give me a chance. And
you should see the new car he just bought.
Oh, yeah.
He just got a 1967 Chevelle.
Super
beautiful car. Yeah.
He deserves all the nice things and then some.
I believe it's the butternut color if it's original.
But now it has that's a nice because my father had a 69 Chevelle Super Sport. And he loved that car. He loved that car to death.
I got a black with white stripe 71 sitting in the garage.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
All right, backstage I go.
Just disappears. Mr. Wizard.
I'm glad he brought that up. Like I had no idea, but yeah, Robert deserves all the flowers. Really he supports all of us, and I, for one, do not take it for granted. And I will try to make it a point the next time I'm in the US. Sorry, I'll just finish.
Good.
The next time I'm in the US, I really want to try and link up with Robert. He deserves that.
I will say this about Robert Pena. Every time I make a studio, like whenever I make the show, he's the first one to put a salute in the chat 99.9% of the time. And then after the show is over, he's the first one to post a comment, and it's usually the salute comment every single time.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
I appreciate that. Some people don't realize how much that means sometimes, that, people actually, care enough about what we do that, they take their time, they take time out of their day to do that, and I appreciate that.
Hold on here. Why you keep on showing up your shirt?
Why not? Why the fuck not?
Why not? Why not? Why not?
It's Mendoza. You got the Temu version.
Yeah.
You can't even read it. This is a legit jersey, my friend. Thank you very much.
How's that legit?
An hour ago.
Listen, if I have one that has number 66, his last name is, and the name on it's Entwistle. Ain't no football player on it, but it's my name. I know how I feel. So it's good that we have our Australian brother here to show us some support way down under there. I mean, it shows we're getting all the way around the world. We thank you for your support. I appreciate it. One thing, like I said, I don't know how people can, once they're a Raider, turn off to another team. I just don't know how they can, because
I don't either.
Neither. Like I said, once you're a Raider, you're a Raider. That's it. It's like people, I get made fun of by my family all the time, but I still stay a Raider. But I have a 2022 Dodge Challenger, which is nice. It's nice to have. And I got my Raider patch on there. So everybody said, "What the hell are you a Raiders fan for?" I said, "Because that's who I am." I'm not going to jump on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, boat. No way. In fact, the Raiders made the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's one thing that they owe them.
I also wanted to show my Chewy's comment in the chat.
Okay.
That's why I was showing.
Jason,
I'm flash it anyway.
Jason reflects with something else, so I'm not touching the chat anymore. I'm letting him do it.
That's strategic, Jeff. I'm trying to keep it an intellectual conversation.
I just love that.
That was like an oxymoron.
With all the comments and everything, and people just letting out the facts as far as what we had and what we didn't have. I just look forward to a better year. All I can say is I hope we have a better year than last year. That's all I can hope for. Better year than last year.
Duncan, I don't know. That's the first I heard about it was the other day that the Seahawks were even possibly up for sale. So I don't even know what's going on with that.
I just want hope that there's a direction. That's what I want. I mean, it can be done. We have the ammunition to do it. It's just a matter of it all putting it together and moving forward rather than just stagnant. And I'm sick of it.
And I'll say, go Seahawks for the Super Bowl. I hope they beat the snot out of the Patriots.
Yeah, last thing I want is the Patriots. Fuck them.
I was watching on the TV, watching the two most hated teams in the NFL, as far as from my viewpoint, which was the Patriots and the Mile High Jackasses playing. I was hoping they would fold on themselves, but it didn't happen. And the snow out there, made the game for the Patriots because number one, they were camouflage wearing all that white. And number two, I'm surprised they didn't have a snowblower come right through there and help them out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even Donkey, even Mile High Jackass Stadium, you still, you hope for. So
I know, Apicas, you were talking about like a direction, and I thought we had that going into last year. Right. Not so much in the free agency because I think they blew it in free agency last year. We didn't do enough in free agency, especially for the O-line. And I thought I saw his vision when he grabbed those two offensive linemen. Yeah, they weren't the ideal guys, but he added size. He added depth to the offense of line. And I thought that's where we were going with this. But then once the preseason started and everything started with how bad we were that first preseason game, and then his presser afterwards explaining his take on how the offensive line was going to be figured out throughout the season. And that's it. That told me right there that the two guys he drafted were not even part of the equation. somehow they weren't being coached right from the get go, because at least Rodgers would have had an immediate impact on that team. I'm telling you, what I saw
There
when
was
he finally
multiple
got his stance,
instances.
when he finally got his
Multiple
stance out on the field.
You know, I see these guys who don't even make the NFL draft, and you're wondering, like, okay, well, they didn't see you as a potential, but you could be something great, coming in. Maybe you are, maybe you hold on to a team, maybe just the right fit for any team, just picking up on them and going crazy with them, making sure they match you as far as your talent wise going.
What were you going to say,
Um,
Alpacas?
I was just going to say there seem to have been multiple disconnects between a few of the coaches, the players, or whatever it may be. And it's another thing that kind of led to the demise. We can't have that again. I don't want to go through it again.
Well, isn't Jamal Adams one of ours?
Jamal Adams, yeah, he's on a roster. What about him?
Yeah, they say he's an unrestricted free agent this year.
Oh, okay, right. There's a lot of those guys. A lot of those guys are going to be.
Yeah. So we haven't signed a contract with him. Now, let me ask you on Jamal Adams. Do we see him as a plus on the team? Do we see him as a negative as on the team?
I mean, I thought he played okay for what he got a chance to do. I mean, Jason Afakasi, you want to add whatever to it?
Go ahead,
I'll get in on that. I liked what I saw from Jamal Adams when I did see him on the field. It surprised me, though, that they kept swapping him in and out more so than having him there consistently on the field. Because when he was on the field, I thought he was doing reasonably well. And I like that. But at the same time, and this goes across the board, I'm not going to cry spilt milk if we don't retain any of these guys.
Yeah.
Like we're the worst team in the league last year. So who cares? The only people I care about are the genuine, the guys who I believe have a future with the team, like our draft picks in Bowers, Jency, JPJ, and our franchise player being Max Crosby. Yeah. Most of everybody else are the drafted guys who you need to give time. These guys who were just here on 1 year deals, who even if they did contribute, am I going to cry if they go?
No. I mean, if you guys got, you got actual players who are here and they're playing and they're dedicated to the Raiders and want a future with the Raiders, making sure they succeed in what they do as far as their positions, as far as, what they're doing, as far as making plays, as far as being a Raider, as far as, wins, I'm all for that. But if they're just here for a year because they're just trying to make money, well, you can make money elsewhere too. You want to be dedicated to us, and fine. But you don't want to be dedicated to us and go somewhere else and play. I mean, if you don't want to, 1 year is, go play who you want to play with. So or stay with us.
Just to add to the Jamal Adams with Avocasi, is Jamal Adams actually had a lot of repetition. He had a pitch count because of his injury history. So I don't think they wanted to overexert him and put him in a position where he gets hurt again.
Yeah.
That's one. Number two, 23 expiring contracts we have on our roster.
Right.
When the new year starts. So that's a lot of holes to fill. Some of those guys we could probably pick up on another 1 year contract, like a Malcolm Coons. Get Malcolm Coons maybe a $4 million deal instead of that $13 million deal, because he was starting to show up a little bit as the season was coming along. The results weren't all that great, but you started to see him a little bit as far as he was influencing plays, kind of influencing the pocket a little bit. I mean, he wasn't getting home, but you can start to see it a little bit. And that's a telltale sign of the type of injury that he had and how long it had been, with the type of position that he was playing. So you can kind of correlate, okay, as the season, towards the end of the season, week 14, week 15, week 16, week 17, you can start to see it. Maybe we can go, maybe next year we can take another, but I'm not going to give him a $13 million contract. He's going to get a $3 or $4 million contract, which is fair, and then let him move on. If he doesn't want it, go somewhere else. We'll figure out a way to fill your hole, because there's
right.
Right now, there's about 9 decent I say decent, not showstoppers, but decent to above average edge rushers / defensive tackles that are coming out in the draft.
Mhm.
That we could pick up one. I mean, and put them in, and hopefully, um, they're definitely going to be better than Tyree Wilson. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Right. Well, I don't know if they're going to be better than Tyree off the bat with Tyree where Tyree's at now. If he can be, great, fantastic. I'm all for taking a swing in the draft if there's a guy who's ready to contribute immediately, more so than say Tyree or Malcolm. Because to your point, like the things you said about Malcolm, as much as I get on Tyree Wilson, Tyree was starting to do that too towards the end of the season. Am I going to stop being critical of the production we've gotten from Tyree? Absolutely not. I've said it many times. It's nowhere near the bare minimum that you expect from a first round draft selection. You know what I'm saying? But at least you can see that he has been trending upwards. And while it's late, he still has year 4 to maybe fulfill maybe part of that that potential. But I'm with you, man. I wouldn't mind taking a swing at defensive end. I mean, we found Max Crosby in round 4, right?
Yep.
My question is, do you think some of these players who are 1 years, they hold back their talent because they figure that if they show too much, they'll be like let go?
No, that makes
We're
no
all
sense.
about
Why would you do that if you're wanting to play for another contract?
Right,
If
that's
you want,
what I'm.
you've only got. So from where I stand, like it wouldn't make any sense, being that like you want to maximize your production. So when you do come up for a contract, you're going to maximize how much teams are willing to offer you. If you're not going to play well enough for teams to want to pay you, that makes no sense to me. So
Yeah, I just
it doesn't
look at
matter
it
what
like
team you're on, even if it's the worst. So
yeah, I just look at it like, you say, why would they hold back? But my question is that, these guys, they have an agenda for themselves. And like they have, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. Well, why wouldn't you do it with the team you're with? And why wouldn't you do it, to prove yourself as a football player where you're all of a sudden you're like questionable now because what you're not doing as well,
right. Like I said, I just there's other, I guess, factors at play as to why they didn't produce as well as say players like these players that went to other teams last season. I'll give you an example. Divine Diablo. It was always halfway decent for us. Okay, can start, can be rotation, whatever. He goes on to the Atlanta Falcons, I believe, and he goes on to be playing at close to a Pro Bowl level. And we see this time in, time out. To your point, I guess, where these former Raiders go to other teams and they just mystically figure it out. But I just look at it from, it doesn't make any sense if you're coming up to a year where you're a free agent or you're coming off a contract that you would hold your play back, because at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself and your bank account. And these players have only got one chance in their life to make the money that they're going to make playing professional football. Because once the lights are off, once their season's over, they got to go to other ventures, and hopefully there's something else at the end of the tunnel. But if there's not, then,
how many players have we lost to the Raiders? How many players have we lost to the Raiders? How many players we lost to New England? I mean, how many good players who wanted to play with New England did want to play with us, and their whole thing is getting to New England and playing, like that guy last year who wasn't doing so well, and all of a sudden he gets on this fantastic team. He's in the Super Bowl this year. It's like I say, these guys have their own agendas to get elsewhere so they can play with the team they desire to play with. They dreamed about playing with,
Well, I don't get your point, because Spillane was a great player for us. Chason was fine when he was with us. I don't understand.
Like I said, I'm just figuring these players.
I can give you another example. I guess maybe that goes to your point, but I see it more so that it was bad decision making and possibly coaching. Say Mumford. Now he's a guy we cut who wasn't playing well for us at right tackle in the preseason, and from what I understand, he might possibly be starting for New England next week at right tackle for the Super Bowl making Patriots. I mean, make of that what you? And I guess it does go a little bit to your point, but I don't look at it that he was holding himself back deliberately. More so, it's just bad coaching, bad decision making. Because all of our offensive linemen regressed last season, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying these guys got their own agenda. Every player that I see, besides Max Crosby, and a few players, got their own agenda.
Yeah, but you look at it this way too, Neil. It's the money sometimes too.
Yeah, and that's that too. Yes,
the contract he was wanting. All right, so New England, we were going to be outbid by New England for pretty much anybody at that point because they had way more than we did last year. Yeah. So you're going to look at what we gave up by not paying him what Spillane wanted. For the money that we would have paid for Spillane, we ended up signing 3 or 4 different linebackers that all collectively did their part to do what they did out there. Were they collectively as good as him? Probably not, no. But, again, we got 3 players that we could rotate 3 through versus just one guy. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where you got to look at it that way, too.
Yeah. I just look at people's agendas. That's all I look at. I look at agendas. I look at people's personal agendas.
Agendas in some cases. I don't think there's agendas.
Okay.
At the same time, like if you go for quality over quantity, like you were saying that we went re-signing Spillane and got these other 4 guys, but if we'd have kept that one quality guy in the door and had other pieces, maybe cheaper pieces around him, and if he was good enough to elevate that because he's that good, like much like say, I guess you could say Max Crosby. I mean, he is that good where he elevates the rest of our defensive line because the rest of the defensive line, look at it, ain't that great, right? But because we got Max Crosby, I'm not saying Spillane is Max Crosby. I'm just saying like you've got a quality enough to maybe elevate the rest of the line, the positional group. Then it could,
I mean, like I said, it's just my way of thinking. It's just my way of trying to analyze why we've been in the back picture, because these people always have their own agendas. The players have their own agendas. Everybody says, like Tom Brady, he was a big San Francisco guy. We ended up in New England under Mr. He was a true quarterback. Where he's only in the backfield, true backfield. Once he was out of the pocket.
I'm trying to see how you're equating that to an agenda for him, though. He was drafted by the Raiders. I mean,
I understand that he was drafted, but he fell into a perfect position. I mean, but the thing is that
losing me, Neil.
What's that?
You're losing me, Neil. I
know. I'm just looking at, like I said, if we got players playing for the Raiders and they play well, I don't care. But as long as that's what they're there for. Their personal agendas, screw the personal agendas, will send them down to New Orleans, okay? Send them down to New Orleans and have them play for them. Don't send them to New England. These guys just want, I want to go to New England. No. You're going down
these guys are free agents. They're free to go where they want.
These guys are free agents. They go where they want. We don't have any say in that. If we don't re-sign them, they could go play for the Antarctica friggin' Eskimos if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You can trade.
The Eskimos.
And if the deal's with a team that we don't like, it's a deal that we got to stand by because it works best for us and works best for them. Yeah. Just real quick, shout out to Diesel in the chat. What's up, Diesel? Shout out to Hummer. I saw you pull through here. Cool, Kev. I want to get to your point in a second here about Pratt, because now that I'm seeing that, and I'm like, you know what? That actually makes perfect sense. Sue, I see Sue's in the house. What's up, Sue? 46MD, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? James Furpo's in the house. Let's hit him up real quick here. Just taking a quick break so we can just do it.
Raiders.
Yeah. Well,
let's see. No, hold on.
That guy Broncos, with the last name Broncos.
Okay, hold on. I gotta mute you there for a second, dude. Hold on. Try to get through some shit here. I just want to get back to what he said about Pratt, how Pratt was talking bad about the coaches and everything. And now there's 2 situations that happened this past season that I want to comment on now based on what Kev said. And he makes perfect sense now. Now I'm seeing the big picture here. So before week 1 season, or before season, week 1 before the season started, we had brought Amari Cooper in. Okay, he was in the building for about 20 minutes. It felt like, and he finally said, "You know what? I'm retiring." And we made fun of it that, as the season went on, it's like, now we know why he left, probably because he saw the shit show that this team potentially could be. Then you add Jermaine Pratt to that, where he was talking about the coaching staff and how it's dysfunctional and everything. And what happens to him? We ship him off to Indy. He does great while he's up there, okay? Amari Cooper stays retired. So the writing was on the wall, but I think some of us didn't realize it right away at that point. I know I didn't until it's finally clicking now. Because now with all the Brennan Carroll crap coming out, and now you look at Cooper, why he left, we don't know the full reason why he left other than the fact that he wanted to retire. Could it have been he was out of shape? Who knows? But he could have seen what the direction the team was
I'd
going.
say it was the latter.
I think it was too. I think it was the direction of the team. And then you see what Pratt did, and they ship him off. So I think there was more to it than what we're really being led on to believe. And that is part of the reason why I personally, I don't want any coach left. And I know people love Leonard from the defensive side, and because he's in tight with Max, I don't care. That is part of the reason why I want nobody left from this current coaching staff. I want a complete wipeout because I don't want any bad juju coming over from last year being dragged into this one. I want this to be as smooth ocean sailing for whoever. If it's Kubiak is guaranteed and he's here once he signs, I want it to be smooth for him. I want him all his guys that he wants, that he knows he can trust. I don't want any leftovers. Nobody likes leftovers sometimes, right? So,
yeah. So do we have from the coaching staff as far as Bill Belichick? Is there anybody? I mean, not Bill Belichick. Pete Carroll. Do we have anything left over?
Everybody's still there. The only ones that are gone are anybody that's left the team. So Pete Carroll's removed from the ranks. Patrick Graham's off of there. There's a couple others that are missing from there. But until, they're all still employed by the team, but eventually they're going to be obviously either retained or let go, but I want them gone. Yeah. The one that's still on that list that drives me freaking bananas, why he's still there, because it already shows that he didn't do his job, and Spytech knows he didn't do his job because Spytech was doing his job, is Brennan Carroll. Why is he still on the payroll? Why is he still show up in the coaches list when you go to Raiders.com? Why is he here? He should have been.
I'm going to sign up.
Look, it's a matter of time with him.
Not sooner.
He's not coming back.
No, he better not. So, cool, Kev, I get what you were saying with that. Now it makes perfect sense. 100%. Let's see. Is there anybody else that popped in that I might have missed?
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, it's Whack-A-Mole.
With what? Whack-A-Mole. Don't make me turn you into HR. Hey, check this out. I'm thinking about what Cool Kev is saying here with Jermaine Pratt, as to maybe with Patrick Graham, some of those issues weren't there 2-3 years before too, where there was a lack of direction, a lack of leadership in the coaching ranks to give that defense confidence to perform. Because you got to remember, the only success that Patrick Graham really had as our defensive coordinator was after we fired Josh McDaniels and AP gave him full reign to run the defense. That's when the defense actually was playing halfway decent.
I feel with Patrick Graham specifically, like when I look at it, I feel Patrick's when the defense was on in the last few seasons, when Patrick Graham was our defensive coordinator, they looked a lot better than just every other defensive coordinator we've brought in the door for the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years. And when you look at the player base that he had to work with, I mean, we didn't really have that many bona fide stars to deal with either. So, that's I appreciate Patrick Graham more than look at him as one of the bigger hindrances for us in the last season. But you know what? He's not here anymore. Thank you for your service. I'm not looking at that anymore. I'm just looking at moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's from a hypothetical standpoint because of the thing, like he was bringing up with the Jermaine Pratt and whatnot, as to whether or not maybe, because you got to remember with AP brought in a couple of his disciples to be quote unquote type, what do you call it? Associate head coaches. What's his name? Marvin. It came from. He was a Bengals head coach for years.
Oh, Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis. He brought him in, and things like that, and it just starts to create a lot of confusion. And Patrick Graham's not one of those guys that's going to be confrontational with other coaches and demand that he have full responsibility. He's a soldier. He's gonna march with the rest of the crew. So I think about it after I see that with Jermaine Pratt, and it makes you kind of wonder. Avocasi, we don't know exactly what's going on behind those curtains, so it makes you wonder. I don't want to say that that's what was happening, but it's a possibility.
Well, Jay Downs, I would consider you the Ed McMahon of this program. You popping in and out like that, so I'll call you Ed McMahon from now on.
Ed McMahon. Well, I'm part of the 401 Raider Jeff Productions crew.
Yeah.
There's four of us in the company, and sometimes come in and help the skipper out a little bit with the shows and whatnot, because he's a really good friend for somebody that's in Rhode Island and I'm in California. Man,
you're like me.
I tell you what, yeah, but he's still a really good friend, and hopefully one day we can meet in person. I can slap him upside the head a couple times.
It's like the Bronco guy coming on here with the label Bronco.
It's like a guy with glasses.
It's like who is this guy coming on with the last name Broncos? That's like a major offense coming up there like that. That's like, if you're a Broncos fan, why would you be on a Raiders podcast?
Yeah. So
anyway, hang on a second. Can I get in there for a second? Like, sorry. If fans from other teams, if they want to come in and give their personal takes, and they come in and from what I saw, he was respectfully. Then I personally don't see a problem.
That's my sarcasm. Okay, that's the American sarcasm, the New England sarcasm that I have. That I've got richly, and he'll Jeff will be the first one to tell you we have no gateway. It's like everything just comes out of mouth before we'll say something. So that's just the way we are. I mean, it's no offense. It's like I said, to be honest with you, I am, like I said, I'm the two teams that I dislike the most in all of football is New England and the Broncos, because I call them the Mile High Jackasses. Yeah. And it's like, but like I said, it's all in good fun as far as when I say something. As far as
we appreciate that,
Duncan.
My bad.
Hey Jeff, AR, I am gonna cut out. It is 8:00, almost 8:00 my time. Go spend some time with the wife. It's been fun.
We're at 2 hours.
Take care, Jason.
You too. Nice to meet you, Florida. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
For those guys that are in the chat, I just started a new show that I popped out today, Raiders Pride and Poise, a solo show I'm doing in conjunction with the 401_Raider_Jeff Productions. Why are you laughing?
Because
you started this stuff. You started it, and then the checks are cashing. So you know it's working.
Yeah.
So Afakasi, he must have got pissed off and left. No, he's backstage, but he can still hear us.
I mean, like I said, I hope I didn't offend him. I was just basically saying how the sarcasm. That's our sarcasm.
AR's thick skin, man. He is thick skin.
Okay.
But when you'll know when you piss him off, because you won't be able to see nothing but his eyebrows. He'll be like this in a picture.
He was vaping. That's what he was doing.
And then his Australian accent will disappear real quick.
Come on, man! I'm not that bad. No, I had to go sit.
I don't know that. I didn't know that. I just want to make sure.
No, I appreciate you, Florida. I thought you were talking.
I do have a suggestion for some people that have stupid things. I do have a suggestion for some people that have a tendency to say stupid stuff. It's real simple. If you take your bottom lip and pull it over your top lip, you will shut the fuck up. It's guaranteed, proven fact, scientifically proven. And AR, I'm on the Mendoza train too. Have been since the beginning of the year, just so you know. But I, out of respect for my co-partner here, we're trying to keep it as. But he also knows I have a penchant for reality as well,
right?
And knowing that there's you just can't sell yourself on that pick. You have to be open to other options, and we know that if the Jets are the only ones I would trade with at this point, because they have the assets that I want.
That can give us the most. That's the thing.
They have the assets that I want.
Yeah.
And if they come in with equal to what the Chicago Bears got with the Carolina Panthers for that one spot, then I'm good with that. I'm good with it. I'm still going to root for Mendoza. I'm still going to root for that kid. And I hope I ain't that Raider fan that goes, God damn, I wish we would have drafted him. He was right there for the taking, and we didn't take him. I hope that's not the case. But so be it. Hey, it's 8:00. I'm going to go spend time with the wife. For those of you in the chat, Raiders Pride and Poise, it'll be a weekend type thing, solo show, where I will also drop links out to have guests just like this come on like an open mic. So, Afakasi, you're more than welcome to join me anytime. I know I'm not a beautiful. I know I don't have the aesthetics, but I have.
It's all good, man. No, you do your thing. You see me. I do stop by your channel. I show love and support to the guys who show love and support to me.
Exactly. You've been in the chat. Love you, brother. And I wish I could have got a hook up with you when you were in California, but you were about 350 miles away. And so, but
so basically,
Jeff,
you weren't big. You weren't worthy enough coming down to see us. So.
It's so good.
But Raider drove all the way down there to see him, though. I love busting his balls. I still gotta get this in. Fuck you, Jason.
I got one. Hey, Raider, nice to meet you, brother. Avocasi.
Yeah.
Thanks. We'll keep in touch in the off season. I plan on winning a bunch of trophies in your trivia games.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody else can do it like me.
When I find some.
Even Jeff tried it and he was pissed off. He's like, I can't even get the question out. You already answered the damn thing. What the hell? It's like, well, know your Raiders, brother. Know your Raiders.
All right.
No, I know this. I think I saluted you on the live, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, you do, and I thank you. I appreciate it.
I just bought the mic and the camera, so I'm planning to do a podcast, but I'm not sure which subject I should touch to, because number one, I like I said, when I come on, it's because Jeff's on here and I know him as best, and I'm getting to know other people. But being a soldier for 26 years is just sometimes it's tough to get on anything. So, but I appreciate you guys coming on and let me on.
I enjoy having you on when you come on, man. You know that.
Yeah, I know. Listen,
it was
it's almost
1
o'clock my time.
It was the first time.
It's about 10:57 here on the East Coast. And I'm gonna be signing on myself because I got to work tomorrow. I got a staff meeting at 10 o'clock, and then got a plan to make people miserable the rest of the time. I'm a quartermaster at the VFW down here in Florida, and
there you go.
Got some work to do as far as with the quartermaster position. So, you all have a good evening, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Take care, man.
I'll put the link up there one more time.
Just gotta close the panel. There you go.
Huh?
So, Jeff, since it's the topic of the show was supposed to be Mendoza, I haven't even had a chance to say my piece on what was supposed to be the topic at hand, right?
Yeah. I thought more people were going to come on, like the ones that were like, so Mendoza, that's what I was waiting for, but like nobody gave the opportunity for people to come on.
I'm here.
Oh, I know that, but I just expected more people that would want to, because when I've been on this past weekend, that's all people were saying. And then I said, all right, I'll do a show this weekend, whether it was Saturday night or Sunday, and I'll do an open mic. Anybody that wants to come in, they come in and they can talk about Mendoza. I want to hear your Mendoza takes. Why you want him, why you don't. If you don't want him, let's go. I thought
maybe they might have been intimidated by the fact that, like, I guess that a lot of the guys that come on your panel, like yourself and maybe the other guy the other night, on the other side of the coin where they want to go in a different direction. So, but
that's what
I'm willing to stand up and step up to the plate. I'm here.
Yeah, go for it, man. It's all yours.
All right. Well, look, I don't want to give anything long-winded or give you a whole bunch of X's and O's. Why he's going to be the guy because of this stat, that stat, whatever, yada yada yada. That's for the birds. All right. I'm gonna go by what my gut says and what my heart says and what I see with these two eyes, these two pretty eyes. Not to Anyways, look, I've said it many times before. I'm tired of going the whole. We try to find the veteran quarterback bridge. We try to play the bridge quarterback game year in, year out. That doesn't work. Okay, we draft these quarterbacks in later rounds who they may be good enough to be a serviceable rotation guy or a guy who can come in a pinch and win us some games like an Aiden O'Connell, or they just don't pan out at all like a Cam Miller or whatever it may be. But in the last 20 years, 2 decades, since Jamarcus Russell, we haven't even tried to address the quarterback position outside of Derek Carr when he provided some stability. And I'm tired of waiting. I'm not doing it anymore. Okay? I don't want to talk about no trades when we literally have the first pick of the draft. There is a guy there that I've seen play, and I don't watch much college tape, but I was paying attention to what he does. Okay? This is a good kid, a guy that comes from a good foundation. He's a championship winner. He's a leader. And I know what my eyes saw when he was making plays, especially that 4th and 5 when he had to scramble 13 yards, running through a defense, a tenacious defense, the best defense in the country, to will his way to win. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want. I want a winner. I want a leader. I want someone that we can get behind and there's a hope that can be the guy in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, I'm not expecting the world right from the jump. I'm willing to give him some time. But we're never gonna make the shots we don't take. And I'm tired of going year in and year out without trying to take that shot. We have the number 1 pick. Just take the damn shot. If he doesn't work out, if it is all doom and gloom, like you worry so much that it's going to be Jeff, reluctantly, I can live with that. At least we tried something different. Okay.
But I'm not.
But if it does work out, just hit me. Hey, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you do talk about what if it goes wrong. You spend a lot of time, and respectfully, you spend a lot of time looking at what if it goes wrong. What I want to look at is what if it goes right? What if it goes right? What if he does turn out to be the guy? Because I tell you what, if we get it right at the quarterback position, rather than going any other route in the draft, even if including trades, if we get 2 or 3 other guys in the first round and they all pan out, we get it right with our first round draft selection of a quarterback, the team is going to transcend more towards where we want to be a lot faster than it would with these other, if we go in another direction. So that's my take on the Mendoza. I'm all aboard Mendoza. Just get our guy and let's go.
Talk that shit. I love it. What's up, boys?
What's up?
How we doing tonight?
All right, and you?
I'm sick, under the weather. That's why my voice sounds weird. But I wanted to come on just to, to support Mendoza with you, Jeff. I love you.
Oh, me.
Let's go, AR.
Just real quick, I've said it before. I don't have a problem with the kid's talent and taking him, provided we get everything set up. I'm just more of an open book when it comes to what we do with that number 1 pick. I'm not so engrossed with taking that one particular player at number 1, and because it's what we need. We need a quarterback. We haven't had one for years. I get that. But when you look at what we're starting out with, a new head coach, having the number 1 pick, we've got a chance to really push this team and add depth more to it, add more major pieces to the puzzle that can play immediately, rather than a guy that may not play year 1, may not play till year 2, may play some year 1. You don't know. When you could get guys, especially if we end up with 2 first-round picks, part of this trade, where we could get two guys that can come in and start immediately and have an impact and show that we're trying to progress and do something to build this team with a young nucleus, because that's two guys on the 5-year rookie contract if we pull off this trade and we get 2 first-round picks versus one player. And that's 2 5-year options that will be a plug-and-play immediately versus one that may or may not even play this year. That's how I look. I look at for the most value with that number 1 pick, and taking a quarterback at number 1.
I guess I'm the same about that when you finish it.
Not the ultimate value at number 1. That's my take. So I'll have at it. Let you go.
With that point, I get that. Like you're looking at, we can get a bounty, and on paper, yes, like we could get more first round just if we did pull the trigger and make the draft day trade. Well, we've tried that route in recent history, and what do we get? We get Cleve Farrell's, Jonathan Abrams, Damon Arnett's, DJ Hayden's, Menelik Watson's. I'm not going through that again. I'm done.
Yeah, but see, I'm looking at that.
I want to try something different, to try something fresh. I want to try something different, a route we have not taken since trying to swing with Jamarcus Russell back in 2007. That was nearly 20 years ago. And we have not tried in the first round. All these other finding their guy in the first round, except for us, because we don't even try. Just fucking try. If it doesn't work out, I can live with that. But we're never going to make the shots we do not take. The time is right. The time is now. I'm not waiting no more.
Yeah, I agree, and I understand where Jeff's coming from. Based on where the team is today, we have a lot of holes that need to be filled in order for Mendoza to succeed. But we still got to be a little patient with free agency. Hopefully, Spytech makes some big moves in the offensive line and defensive line and cornerback room and some wide receivers. We got the money. If we're going to take Mendoza, he's going to be on a 3-year or 4-year deal, possibly 5. But in those rookie years, that's when we build it up. And I get where Jeff's coming from. It's just we don't know where we're going to be next year in the draft. We may not get a shot at the quarterback we want, and this is the only year that we actually get to decide.
So
we are in the driver's seat to take the shot.
Let me put this in a different perspective then, because then I want to see what your take is. Okay, so you're saying instead of trading and moving and getting these other players, which is always going wrong for us, but yet let's stay with the number 1, take that number 1 quarterback, which in the past has also gone bad for us. So you're basically saying the same thing, but
right.
It's okay.
I guess it's
you know what I'm saying? So you're saying it's
I get it. I get it.
I mean, I'm not being an asshole. I'm just trying to put this out there because, as you were saying,
no. I get you. I get you, and that's fair. But I'm looking at I also highlighted with Jamarcus Russell. That was nearly 20 years ago. It's nearly 2 decades ago. Those other draft day trades were more in recent history. That's why I make the analogy. But it is a fair point. I get what you're saying.
But it's also that's why I don't have a problem with making moves or even taking the player, because it's different regimes back then, and even the most recent failures have been different regimes, different people running the show. So yeah, but sometimes there was also one common denominator with this, and the last name of that person involved was Davis, whether it was Al Davis or Mark Davis that were muddying up the waters. And if you let Spytech do what he's supposed to do, I have all the faith in the world in Spytech. And now with our new scouting team, with the guy we brought in from Philly running the show, this is going to be the true test this offseason right here on the valuation of these kids coming out. So you will probably see better draft picks and taking better chances on some of these players in this draft. Because remember, yes, the guy was here last year that came over from Philly, but all the reports and everything were done by the old scouting system. Okay, so it wasn't his product, that he had to go by those scouting reports. So now it's him and his crew that put these scouting reports together. So you're going to see hopefully you're going to see better evaluation of talent from these college players coming out. A little bit more homework done on some of these kids, vetting them properly, finding out more history of their background, because we've obviously seen that in the past where we didn't vet these kids good enough And Henry Ruggs aside, Henry Ruggs was not a vetting issue. That was just a bad mistake.
Damon Arnett.
Arnett was the problem.
Damon Arnett
because there was stuff that came out after the fact that he had stuff also on social media way prior to that. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't even a first round prospect, and they took him in the first round.
Yeah.
But just to your point on getting more draft selections, like I feel we have enough. Yeah, granted they're not in the first round, but we've got 9 other draft picks to shake things up. I mean, I highlighted before, we found Max Crosby round 4. I mean, those picks are hard to come by, but it can be done. Just because you've got 3 first round picks doesn't mean you're going to get 3 bona fide starters or even good players, which is what I was trying to highlight. You know what I'm saying? I just want to try something different. I don't want to try anything cute. I just want to take a swing at our guy. You know what I mean? Okay. I can't say it enough. I'm tired of waiting. I'm not waiting no more.
Well, what happened? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got a question for Jeff. If Spytech makes the big moves that we all anticipate, and where our team is better prepared for a quarterback, do you change your perspective on taking him first overall?
Are you talking about free agency? Are you talking free agency?
Yeah. If Spytech makes good moves, then
right.
Why wouldn't we?
I've been saying that for weeks. I've actually been saying, you go back to all my shows when it comes up and people say you don't like Mendoza. No, I'm correcting myself. Listen, I have to do this every show. Somebody comes off with like, you don't like Mendoza. No. And Jason even stood up in a chat the other day and said this, that it's not that Jeff doesn't like Mendoza. It's I don't like taking him with the number 1 overall pick. I have no problem with Mendoza if they deem he's the guy, provided we address the situation in free agency, which means if we bring in 1 or 2, preferably 2, solid veteran offensive linemen, go get your guy. I'm all on board, and I'll support the kid 100% and pray to God that he's the guy going forward for the future of this team and puts us in a position to win. If we don't address it in free agency, at that point, it's already going to be too late, okay? Because now you're going to have to hope that we address it in the draft. Because if we come back another season with Kappa and Parham and all these other crappy players that we have, granted, we've got Miller, okay? You've got JPJ. You've got hope with that kid Rogers because I think he's going to be a starter next year, hands down. Glaze, I don't know what's up with him. He looked awful this past season. Hopefully he gets.
He looked terrible.
Together. He looked absolutely a pitiful. He was getting burned left and right.
Yeah, moving the guard.
Shit fixed. So
but I think we all agree that a lot of that had to do with coaching, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, right.
But again, we still need.
Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
We need to plan for the future with Colton Miller. Obviously, we've only got him for 2 years, and yes, he's still the top. I think he's still one of the top left tackles in the league when he's healthy. Okay, but if we address it in free agency and bring in at least 2 guys that can solidify that offensive line, and then give you a chance to let Grant grow a little bit more, because Grant may not be ready yet. Who knows? And to get some confidence back in Glaze, to where they can eventually take back over as the future youth of this offensive line. I'm all for it. Because if we go into the season with what we have now, and they are not any better physically and performing on the field, Mendoza will not survive, especially if we have to start him with that offensive line. Because you saw what Gino, as a veteran, couldn't do and was getting his ass whooped. He had almost 60 sacks last season. That's insane. We can't do that with a rookie. You'll kill that kid's confidence, and then you fluster him. I know he's like super smart and all that shit. There's nothing that can take the place of that and then getting hit constantly over and over and over. You're going to be shell shocked. It's going to have PTSD back there.
I'm right there with you on that. I agree. I want us to bring in 1, maybe 2 decent, good enough, maybe even the best available offensive linemen via free agency. But I do still believe that there is some young pieces there that should have been better, and I believe can be better with better coaching. We've got a young nucleus. We've drafted 4 offensive linemen in the last 2 years alone. You know what I'm saying? Who I think should be better than what they produced last year. But say I'm just going to play devil's advocate for a minute. Say we don't address it properly in free agency, like you said. Say we don't find some offensive linemen via free agency that we hope to find. Let me take you back to 2014. Remember when we drafted Derek Carr? Remember, he started year one. So, I mean, he wasn't the best, but he wasn't all the way bad. You know, he did reasonably enough to say, okay, we can get behind this guy, even though we lost 10 straight. He didn't have the car insurance year one. Remember that. That came year two.
Correct.
So as much as it's not an ideal scenario, you know what I mean? I still want us to go all in on Mendoza first round specifically, and then find the pieces that we can via the rest of the draft with 9 draft selections as it stand. But I just wanted you to take that into consideration too, Jeff, that it may not work out straight away in year one if we don't address the offensive line like we want to, but it can work out in the end if we give it time. That's all I'm trying to say.
I get it.
And my take on that would be, if they don't fix the line, then if they do take Mendoza, then I would sit him for that first year and let AOC or whoever other quarterback they want to bring in, you know, be that first year bridge. And then year 2, we fix the line. But I wouldn't put Mendoza out there unless we fix the line.
Fix the line has to be priority.
Just one comment?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you there. Just to all eyes on G's comment, and salute to all eyes. He says that they forced Carr to start. He should have said no. He actually earned the job in preseason. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember because we had what's that other veteran guy, the one from the Texans come in, Matt Shaw, who was supposed to be the guy. He wasn't that great. He was pretty awful in preseason. Derek Carr played very well in preseason. I remember that last game against Seattle. He played very well. He had numerous touchdowns and played well enough to start that season. So I think that's unfair to say that we forced him to start. I believe he earned it. And he didn't light the house on fire year one, but he did well enough to see that there was hope that he could be the guy. And he was the guy, at least for a little while, which is better than what we've had with all these other guys. So I just wanted to highlight.
This is how I know people either aren't paying attention when I talk or just don't watch the shows. Because he said, Jeff, if Spytech drafts Mendoza and doesn't trade the pick, you will have faith we will do the right thing. Yes, I just said it, and I've said it I don't know how many damn times. I'm like a broken record. As long as we address the offensive line in free agency. If we don't address it in free agency, then I don't think that's the move. I'm sorry. Plain and simple. Because at some point, if he has to get in and we don't fix the offensive line and add some free agent depth, because we didn't do it last year, we're screwed again. And it won't matter who's playing quarterback there, because if we end up keeping Geno Smith and he starts the season, we're going to be in the same boat we were last year, regardless of who the head coach is and who the offensive line coach. The talent's not there. Do you not understand that? Capper is not good. Parham is hit or miss 90% of the time. Glaze, I have no confidence in him after last year. He needs to really show me that he's able to come back. JPJ was rattled last year because of all the moving around. They got in that kid's head last year. They fucked him over big time last year. That was a shame what happened to that kid, because that kid is something special, and we blew it with him. Colt Miller was injured most of the year last year. It's if I don't get it. I say this all the time. Why is it all of a sudden it's like this magical thing that I'm okay with it? I am, and I've said I am with Mendoza. I don't have a problem with Mendoza's talent. I've never knocked the kid for his talent. I haven't. I just don't think it's the right move based on our existing roster, plain and simple. Because everything we're looking forward to right now is based on the roster as we look at it on paper right now. This is who we have on this team. We don't even guarantee we have the head coach. We've come to an agreement with them. Until he signs it, there ain't no guarantee there. And Afakasi agreed with me earlier. And until that's done, nothing going forward.
At some point, you got to see the bigger picture as well. You know, I know that's the team we have right now.
But see the bigger picture, and that's what people don't understand, and that's what drives me nuts. And I don't like getting on the rant, but Jesus Christ, I don't fucking get it sometimes.
No, I get it. You like Mendoza. We're not ready for him right now. Yeah, we're not ready for him right now, and you're not wrong. We're not ready for him. I'm just praying and hoping.
If we drafted, let's put it this way: if he came out, if this was last year, Mendoza came out last year, and we had to start him, and we didn't bring Geno Smith in, how do you think he would do last year?
Terrible.
And guess what would happen?
Better than these other quarterbacks, that's for damn sure.
Huh? What'd you that?
I said better than those other quarterbacks we had in the door, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, I agree. It would be better than those. but we would have started him with such a bad situation. So again, when you look at this roster, it's the same players we have now that we had at the start of last season right now. Until things get improved, there's no guarantee that we're going to have an offensive line until they stop practicing and we see what these coaches are doing with these guys. Until that first preseason game and that offensive line comes out and how they perform, that's going to tell me whether we're going to do okay, especially in the running game. And people have to remember, too, with Kubiak's a run-first guy. So you're going to see Genty a lot if we can make the holes for him this season, unlike we couldn't last year. And granted, it wasn't all on the line. That was a lot of
I guess.
Yeah, you're not.
I guess
wrong,
my objectivity, and it's not just with you, Jeff, who feel we should go in a different direction. It's pretty much everybody that I see who's kind of in the same chain of thought as you, Jeff, is that like you guys, and I get it, you guys look at where it can go wrong if we select Mendoza. The way I personally like to look at it is, what if we get it right? What if he is the guy? That's all I'm trying to say. And we're never going to know. Yeah, I know. All right. Okay. But that's how I want to look at it. What if we get it right at the most important position in football? We can build those other things. We can get those other things around him, preferably already there, but we can do that in time. But we're never going to have the guy unless we try to find the guy. And that is something we haven't done since, you could say Derek Carr, but if you go further than that, if you're looking at first round specifically, Jamarcus Russell. And I'm done with waiting. I'm not waiting anymore. We've got to take the shot and then build around it.
What if Kubiak doesn't want him? That's another thing. We have no idea.
I don't think Brady would have brought him in if he wasn't on board.
If he doesn't want him, he doesn't want him.
That's what I mean. What if he wants, people throwing his name out there, what if he wants Mac Jones to come in here and wait for next year?
I'm sure these are questions they ask.
If they do go that route, then they go that route.
Yeah. I mean, so there's nothing, again, nothing's etched in stone. So you have to be prepared to
I don't think there is either.
You know, so that's why I'm like, think outside the
look,
box.
I'm gonna stand on how about Mendoza, but say they do go in a different direction, I'm gonna have no choice but to rock with it anyway and just throw this jersey in the closet like it's pretty much useless. You know what I mean? But you know, that's just something that like I'm willing to rock with. I mean, I bought this jersey because I just feel so passionately about what I think we should do with it and where I believe they're going to go until proven otherwise. And I'm going to show him my support even before he's even a Raider, because I truly believe in my heart that is the route that we're going to take. Like I'm a gut kind of guy. Like I highlighted before in any of my points, that I'm not a no kind of guy. I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of bullshit based on stats and all that crap. I'm just going with what my heart says, and it's right there. I think he's going to be the guy.
I hope he is. I really do. Because I'm tired of waiting too. You know, and like Bunny says, based on Kubiak, Genty, a rich free agent market of O-line players, 10 draft picks, do you honestly think we're not going to address the O-line, which is a huge need? You keep talking double. Because until I see it, I'm going to be that way. I have to be. I have to look at what we currently have. And everybody else should too. I mean, everybody's got these hopes and wishes and dreams of, we're going to get this guy, we're going to get that way. You still have to hope that players want to come here, because we're still, until things are proven otherwise, we're still a dysfunctional organization. And you can't argue that we're not, because we are. We are still a dysfunctional organization until we start see the direction this ship is sailing going forward. You know?
Yeah, I think the first step is the coaching, and it looks like it's going to be Kubiak. So that seems to be the right step. Everybody, seems to, like the guy as a head coach and the staff that he brings in. Once he brings in that staff, then the next thing we do is attack free agency, and that's going to be critical what we do in free agency. And then from there, that's when we decide on who we take in the draft. Right now, we're looking at people we want in the draft based on the roster we have. But by the time the draft comes, our roster is going to look significantly different.
Right. It always does. But I just feel like, and before you want to go and read your super chat, Jeff, like,
go ahead.
I just no matter what route you take in free agency and needs for the draft, we gotta try and find our guy. But you go ahead, Jeff.
Just want to shout out to Aunt Six here with the $2 super chat. Draft Alvaro Martinez and Dustin from USC. USC's a good school. I hear that Dustin guy's really good.
They got a wide receiver coming out.
Oh yeah, two-way player, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was I here? Arnie had a question. Shit, what was it? God dang it. I gotta go back to it now. I'm a little behind again on the chat. Fuck.
Just while you look for that comment, I hear that, Raidersaurus. I'm just going the opposite direction where Jeff is looking at worst case scenario. I'm looking at best case scenario, and even a middle case scenario. If Mendoza, if all he is like, middle of the pack or maybe teetering on that top 10, shit, I will take that. I will take that over what we've had for the last 10, 15 years at quarterback not named Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't like that to be all we get, but for me, that's still, I mean, if that's the very floor of what we get, like, we can work with that. We can't work with what we've been doing for the last, other than Derek Carr, for the last nearly, 17, 18, 19, 20 years, or ever since we had Rich Gannon. You know what I mean? Like, there's been guys that have come in that have been okay for a minute. Like, I love Jason Campbell. I'm a big Jason Campbell fan. He gave us some moments, but like, I just don't want to go this journeyman route again. And I don't want to wait for us to pull the trigger on a quarterback again when we're in the driver's seat, and hopefully we've got the number one selection this year. If we get it right with this number one selection, we will not be in this same position, hopefully, for at least another decade to come, maybe 2 decades. I don't want us to be picking number one. I'm tired of us picking in the top 10. I want us to be picking later in the draft because we're making playoff runs. You know what I'm saying? And I truly believe in my heart it starts with taking a quarterback and then building around it.
I just want to be 500. I'll take 500, man. I'll just take 3.
I'll take 500.
I want to win games in our own division because that's where it starts. We got to win games in our own division. If we can't get out of the basement of our own division, it don't mean shit because we got a tough division. We always have and we still do. So, Arnie, what free agents is the highest priority? Do we trade AOC, sign Cousins to Mendoza? My number one overall free agent grab attempt would be Lindenbaum, the center from Baltimore, but we're going to possibly be in a bid more possibly with the Giants because there's rumor he wants to follow Harbaugh to New York. And that would definitely, if I'm him, I would go there rather than here if I'm that player because I think New York's
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Lindenbaum,
Who are you talking about?
from Baltimore. He's pretty much like the number one free agent offensive lineman that's out there. He's damn good.
And the Giants have a good center, so they would have to let him go.
They do. So, but if I'm him, I'm pushing for the Giants to take me because I think
the
Giants
the only thing I guess would be his
we're away from being good. Giants are not that far off. Go ahead.
The only thing where we would have to come to the dance. Sorry, Jeff, my bad. The connection's bad.
No, you're good.
Is that we're gonna have to offer him more, and I'm prepared for them to do that. We have the money, spend it. If the Giants are gonna give him, I don't know what do you think he's worth? 20 mil a year?
It's close.
Market value is 17 to 20.
Yeah.
All right. If they offer him 17 to 20, offer him 22 to 25. Make it enticing. Just do whatever it takes.
The highest paid. He'll definitely be the highest paid offensive lineman. Well, maybe center. Left tackle higher.
Interior.
He's going to be up there. He's going to be the highest paid interior lineman for sure. But I think he's worth it? Yeah, I really do. And I'd rather have a bona fide center, somebody that's played center for multiple years, than put JP back at center. I think JPJ needs to stay at guard, plain and simple. I think he's going to utilize that guard, especially if we move to the left side. If we move JPJ to the left side along with Colt Miller and we get Lindenbaum at center, that left side's solid as it could be. That would be Genti's bread and butter running up the left.
Even if we miss on Linderbaum, there's still I'm sorry, Afkasi. There's still
No.
That right tackle Braden Smith and Elijah Vera Tucker. If we were to bring both those guys in and to shore up our right side, and then put JPJ at center, and then we just need a left guard.
I still don't
I
want
was just going to say just to sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, go ahead.
good.
Sorry, I was just going to say to Arnie Garza's comment there. Rodney Hudson changed our offensive line completely. Yeah, and that's why I'm highlighting when I go back and I'm looking at what worked for us in the past, where we have drafted a quarterback either round or round two with Derek Carr. We didn't have the car insurance year one. We had Donald Penn, but we had, I think, Stefan Wisniewski and maybe who was it? Jared Valdir was still there, but he was out injured for a lot of the time. But when we did year two address the offensive line via free agency and built around the young guys like Gabe Jackson to shore up the rest of the offensive line, we had Derek Carr's best days. And that's, I guess, to your point, Jeff, you would want to build the offensive line. All I'm trying to say is that if we don't address it properly year one, it's not an ideal scenario, but it can be done. We can do that year two if we take a shot with Mendoza. It's not all doom and gloom. And to be honest, like the young players, I've lost a lot of faith in them with their play, but I found that to be very inexcusable that we had guys that show so much promise year one, and for them to regress like they did year two, and to hear the stories about how what the coaching was like, for me, it just screams coaching. Like, if with the right coaching, I believe those two guys we have, JPJ and DJ guys, and the other guys that we drafted last season should be able to take that next step up in Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant. So there's 4 young guys there that we can build around. Like, yeah, our offensive line sucked, but it can be better with the right coaching. And if we do bring in another piece, if we do re-sign Colton Miller, then I'm good with rocking with this offensive line with the right coaching.
Yeah, coaching matters. If we get it right with coaching, we're going to be set for many years to come.
What's up, Rafa? I know I missed a bunch of comments. I'm skipping right to the end here. I got to catch up. What's up, Raidosaurus? What's going on? Just thinking worst case scenario that we don't change anything. He isn't saying that he doesn't want Mendoza or anything. It's that if we hypothetically don't change things, it not necessarily won't work out, but it's not going to be good. I'm not going to sit there and say it's not going to work, but it's not going to be good. We're going to have some serious learning curves. Jeff, you just said you had faith in SpyPeg, which is why I asked the question. The fucking problem isn't me not listening. Rather, it's you not remembering what you said minute by minute. I've been saying this all along, though, that I don't have a problem with Mendoza. My God. And yes, I do have faith in SpyTech. I have faith in him going out and hopefully trying to get these guys to come here. It's not on him. It's on the guys wanting to come here. That's the problem. That's where all this lies. It's getting the players that want to come here. We thought last year with Pete Carroll coming here with his experience and his history, he'd be able to bring the players. And he couldn't. He didn't bring shit to help us. I'm sorry. Yeah, he brought a couple of pieces on defense that, we're okay. That's what we got to hope for. We got to do more to entice players that want to come here. And yes, if Kubiak is definitely the one that signs the paper and says he's the head coach, that's a starting point. We get the number 1 pick. If it's Mendoza and that's the way we're going, and these guys want to come here and protect for him and play for the Raiders and be part of what we're building, that's up to the players. That's not up to the GM, to be honest with you. He can set the dinner table out. It's if they want to come and sit down and eat and partake in it. Plain and simple. If they don't want to partake in it because they don't like what we're serving, they're going to fucking head off to the McDonald's instead. They ain't going to eat our fucking half-ass gourmet dinner. They'd rather go eat something else. That's how I look at it. When you put scraps out there, nobody's going to want to sit at the table and enjoy the ride. Come on.
Yeah. The way I look at it is money talks. If we put the most money out there on the table, we're going to have to overpay for a few of the people that we want that don't want to come. But in the end, if the contract is bigger, the offer is bigger, majority of the time the player's going to go that way. Especially if we get Kubiak and he wins the Super Bowl. I would want to play for a coach that just won the Super Bowl.
Can you imagine having a young head coach at the helm and a new quarterback that we drafted round 1? So we got a young head coach and a young quarterback. I mean, I don't know about you, man, but that makes for some exciting times right from the get-go, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. We just got to fix the O-line, guys. That's all we got to do. Spytek, handle your business.
So Money Chuck says you have a problem drafting anything in the first round other than O-line and DL. Yeah, because everybody's loved head coach John Madden used to say the same thing. Everybody quotes this all the time, but we never fill it. You know, everything starts in the trenches. If you don't protect up front on the offense and you don't get penetration on defense up front, then you're not going to be as successful as you want to be. Okay, so yeah, I'm always going to tout for, you know, the trenches, you know, whether it's in free agency or in the draft. If the top offensive lineman that's going to come out, that's like Campbell last year, I wasn't in favor of him because I fell into the short arm thing. Tell you what, he had a hell of a year his rookie year in New England, and look where they're playing. They're in the Super Bowl. He may not play because he's injured right now, but he still had a big part in them making it to the Super Bowl. That's the type of, you know, all right, I fucked up last year. I really wanted it. I didn't want him. And I didn't want Membo either, to be honest with you, because I didn't trust him either.
I love that guy.
You know who was big on him last year? Was,
can I ask you?
Oh, shit. Angelo.
Yeah.
Angelo was big on him.
Jeff,
Everybody talked to him.
can I ask you, though, Jeff, can I ask you, say we did make that trade and we got multiple picks. You obviously want to focus on offensive line or defensive line. Now, I know one of your answers would be Bain, and to be honest, say we did make a draft day trade and trade it down, Bain would be my number one priority. What the other picks, I don't know. I mean, I can give you answers on positions I'd like to address, but the players, personnel that might be available in that range, I don't know. But what about you, Jeff? Is there any offensive lineman prospect that would be worthy if we were to trade down in that say 10 to 15 range that might be able to contribute immediately and make our offensive line better or better in time?
Yeah, there's a couple guys from Utah.
Yeah. Where is it? Let me bring up my list. Damn it, get out here. I mean, obviously it's guard that we would be looking at, but yeah, I mean, you've got a few in there. I mean, preferably, I really wanted to grab one of the centers, but we can still get them in like possibly like the third round and such. But as far as offensive tackles, I mean, that would be they're going to be ranked higher than the guards this season as of right now. You know, I mean, you've got a few of them to choose from. You got the kid from Miami. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Moaga or Moago. I don't even know how you say his name. The kid Proctor from Alabama is damn good. You've got the kid from Utah, Fano, Lomu, Emu. You know, but if you start looking at guards, they fall off a little bit. The highest
Stop butchering my people's names, Jeff.
Then you say it.
If I could see what how the spelling would be, I'd be able to say it eloquently.
I mean, guard is. I would prefer a guard if we can't get one in free agency, but we definitely need to draft one. But we also still need corners. I mean, there's a lot we need. You know, we definitely need corners. Seriously, an edge rusher on the opposite side of Max if we don't do offensive line early. You know, again, it all depends on what we do in free agency too. I mean, there's so many options out there in free agency that we can take advantage of. Yes, but if we don't, we're just going to have to live through the draft, and hopefully we fill those voids that these guys are. We can't have a draft like we had last year. Let's put it that way, where your second round pick wasn't even a starter. Your third round pick was a spot starter here and there in Darian Porter, but shows promise. I like the kid.
Are you talking about what, Thornton or Porter?
Porter. Thornton was the fourth.
The third as well?
No, Darian Porter was in the third. So it went Genty, Betch, Porter. What's the third that we got?
The two linemen. I'll throw you, Brian.
Yeah, because they went back to back. What were they, like 99 and
I think Rogers and Grant.
Yeah, I know they were back to back because we traded back to get the two picks side by side, and we took both of them, 1-2.
Yeah, it was. You're right. So the linemen were drafted with the last two picks in round 3. after Darian Porter in round 3 as well, and then Dante Thornton, you're correct, was round 4 with Tucker Henry.
The guy that was our 4th round pick got more play time than our 2nd rounder. So usually your 2nd and 3rd rounders, your 2nd rounders for sure, usually they turn into starters. Your 3rd rounders are more of a reliable, not reliable. How do I want to word this?
Developmental.
No, but they're more
developmental rotational guys.
Yeah, that's it. They're more of a rotational guy where they have a bigger impact on the team.
Yeah.
4th round is
And if they can be more than that, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
When you take your 2nd round pick and you only throw to him 20 times in the entire season. I mean, come on. And then your 3rd round pick or your 4th round pick gets more play time than your 2nd round. That just shows me right there that, I still think Betch has potential. I really do.
It was bad. It was bad coaching all around.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, stories came out of. Did you guys hear about Spytech training up the offensive linemen?
Yeah, we heard.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's why I highlight, like, with better coaching, I believe guys like JPJ and DJ Glaze, there's no excuse from their play perspective from year 1 that they should have regressed the way they did year 2, unless it was bad coaching. That, like, all signs to point to they should have been better, even just a little bit better. So I'm still hopeful with those 2 guys and Caleb Rogers and possibly Charles Grant as well. So if we go that route again in the draft, like, I would prefer to go, if we're going to try and address the line, do it again like round 3 and onwards or whatever it may be. But I'm there with you, Jeff. Like, what we got year 1 from our draft class, we had 9 picks, and outside of Genty, I still believe Genty's going to be great. I've been pretty disappointed with. Granted, you've got to give them time. Like, it's just year 1, but it was underwhelming, especially, like, I guess for me, I highlighted before the season, we really need to find at least 2-3 starters from day dot with this draft class, and we didn't. We found 1. And it's draft class like that hurt us in the long run. I mean, I just did a show recapping the 2023 draft class, and you look at, like, it's 3 years later, our 1st round drafted guy, Tyree Wilson, is still a rotational guy trying to find his feet. Michael Mayer, as much as we like his athletic traits and what he does on the field, nobody's going to sell me his productions even close to what you want from a 2nd round drafted tight end that you traded up for. That was the best tight end in the draft that year. And then you got Byron Young, who didn't come past the 1st season of his rookie contract, and we end up shipping him out because he got beaten by Matthew Butler, another guy who didn't make it that we drafted. And then Trey Tucker being the best of the bunch, and he was drafted at the end of round 3. And then you got all these other picks like Aiden O'Connell, who's a rotational guy, and then these other guys that didn't even amount to nothing. It's those kind of classes that hurt you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So you can't afford to do that, especially with last year. I hope that's not what we're going to get from last year's draft class. I want it to be a lot better, but it was underwhelming. I'm right there with you, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. And Money Check says you did the same thing last year. Even though Genty was the most talented player on the board, you wanted to draft position rather than talent. And I'll still stand by that. We didn't deserve Genty last year, and we didn't do him any great justice this year, obviously.
We didn't. But
we didn't. And I'm not knocking his talent. Again, it's not the kids. I trust Genty. We didn't get to see what Genty's full capability is in the NFL last season. I thought he was underused. We would get away from the run too fast. And why? Because we were down by so many scores because our defense couldn't stop anybody. We couldn't run the ball very well because of the line. And we couldn't really throw the ball very well because of our quarterback and our line. So it was just a jumbled mix last year of just shit. Whereas if we would have done something different with that 1st pick last year, instead of taking Genty, we could have. There was a shit ton of running backs in that draft last year. We could have taken a running back later on. We could have taken a Trevion Henderson or Judkins or whatever. There were so many different options of white running backs that had a good year last year that we could have taken, not Genty, and we could have addressed a different need, like an offensive lineman. Yeah, I would have settled for Membo, even though it wasn't my favorite last draft. You know, and I know he says this all the time. I always remember with the Jets. Well, first of all, it's the Jets. Okay, so they were in a
Right, but
shitty
He's
the
done great
same
on the
could be
Jets.
said.
I don't know what they're
and
talking about.
The same could be said opposite. I mean, I like to look at it that we got it right with the Genty pick. What we did after that, we should have done better. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're looking at the Genty pick being wrong respectfully, and I don't believe that's the way you should be looking at it. What you should be looking at is, I think we got it right with the Genty pick. We have something there, a bona fide starter who I believe is going to be great in years to come. It's what we did after that that needs to be better. Rather than we shouldn't have drafted Genty and we should have done this instead and then gotten this guy instead. Well, you could say that same in reverse. We got it right with Genty. We should have built better after him.
When I did the live draft show last year and we picked Genty number 1, I threw my hat because I was pissed because I thought we were going to go a different direction.
I saw.
But I calmed down the next day when we drafted the 2 offensive linemen, because then I thought, all right, now I see the big picture. Now he's going to beef up the offensive line. Hopefully one of these guys sticks and starts. And I was okay with it at that point because he did address it. So I figured, all right, fine. And that means we're going to probably see no Parham, whatever. And then the season came. And these guys never really got a fair shake. You know, 1 week, oh, he's going to start, healthy scratch. You know, so I was okay with Genty the next day and until the season started because I thought we were addressing what he did in the 3rd round with the 2 offensive linemen. I figured at least Rodgers was going to get in the mix and have an impact, but I was fucking wrong.
But do you see what I'm saying though, Jeff? Like, instead of looking at it that we shouldn't have taken Genty, we should have gone with one of those offensive line in the 1st round and done whatever in whatever other rounds to address the running back position. That's all I'm saying is that you should look at it. Well, I personally feel like you should look at it that we got it right with Genty. What we did after is where we got it wrong. So far, I mean, you still got to give it time. And I did like the signs that Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant did started to show towards the end of the year. And I'll highlight once again, I believe these young guys can be better and should have been better than what they were last season. And I think they can be that come year 3 or year 2 with better coaching.
Yeah, because if they didn't show any improvement, they'd be right up there with all the other picks that we make that we sit there and go, why the fuck did we take these guys? You know, like the Thornton pick in the 4th round. It's like, what? Could have done something different. We could have probably waited for Thornton until like the 6th round, really, be honest with you. I guarantee you probably still would have been there. We could have gone with something else.
Look, it's been underwhelming so far, but at the end of the day, it's just been year 1. We've still got to give it time to shake out. It's disheartening and it's not very encouraging, but we got to give them time. And that's why I look at it, a draft class as full stop after, or at least I give a fair assessment of them after 3 seasons because, 1 year is not really fair enough to judge a player coming out. Like, you've got to give him more time than that. 3 years, I think, is enough of a sample to say whether they've got it or they don't.
G-Fan, you're still there? You've been quiet.
Yeah, I'm here. I agree with Afakasi on that one. 3 years in NFL, not for long. If you're still on the team in 3 years, that means you got something, If not, the team should have let your ass go already.
Right.
Chuck
I mean,
Henson.
to that point, Colton Miller, remember how bad he was year 1? Granted, he was injured. He like, we look at Colton Miller as being the stalwart of the offensive line that he has been since we drafted him in 2018. So that's, what is it? 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. That's 8 seasons so far, maybe 9, going if he comes back next year. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, he's been one of the better left tackles in the league. But you've got to remember, year 1, it was, the signs weren't very encouraging. I mean, he wasn't Alex Leatherwood bad, but he wasn't very good. So, you got to give them time to marinate, per se. Like, the hope is there. But we I guess to that point, we've been through that song and dance with a lot of these guys who don't really project well year 1, and they just don't amount to anything after that since then, right?
Yep. Sounds familiar. Just saying, if we fix the O-line, either the Genty or Mendoza pick it. Yeah, and you're right, too. You're not Genty because he played at Boise State, doubted his talent, and wanted an O-line player. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Or did was I never questioned the kid's ability. I didn't. I did.
Why is everybody dogging on you, Jeff?
I don't know, man. What? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we can have different opinions. No reason to get mad at everybody.
Not afraid he's going to accept Stokes, Kappa, Gino, Ice Balke. And both of those, Gino and Kappa, are going to be dead cap because Kappa we signed for 2 seasons.
Yeah, I don't know if Spytek will let him go because he brought him in. That's a Spytek signing. I have a feeling they're gonna keep his ass.
We got a cool Kev sighting. What's up, Kev?
Hey, I have not seen you in a long time, Kev. What the hell is going on?
I'm gonna dip out, guys. My battery is dying on my phone.
Man.
All right, later. Yeah,
Bukasi, I think the last time we were on together, Stu was there.
Who?
Stu.
Oh, really? When was that? That must have been at least 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, at least 3 years ago. Yeah.
Man,
it's been a while.
Good to see you, Kev.
Good to see
been
you, brother.
A long time. It's been
well, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What's up, man? How you been?
Not too bad. I'm on break. Just want to come in and hang out.
Awesome.
I love the lanyard. I got one myself in the suitcase when I went to Legion. Yeah, I got one. I got one in black and gray. Awesome.
I got this one.
Oh, he's gone.
Old. So what's your take on all this, Kev?
Yeah.
Where you standing on that?
Is he there or is he doing his best Dustin impersonation? Oh, there he is.
He's in his car, so it's dark.
My alarm went off. Sorry about that. What's going on?
So what's your
I think
take
Jeff
on
asked to Mendoza or not to Mendoza. Sorry, Jeff.
Well, I agree with both of you guys on both sides because it's just like I'm just nervous about giving up all them picks and not getting any in return for them. So, I don't mind Jeff's take about trading out as well, but we don't do well in trades. So, but we take Mendoza, we got GT and Bauer, so we're moving in the right direction. So slowly but surely, if you look at it that way.
True.
If you go back to Jeff's point about drafting GT, we didn't deserve Bowers either because we were supposed to get a whole lineman back then, and we ended up taking Bowers, BPA.
Right.
The thing with Bowers, nobody saw that one coming. It's not like we were sitting there going, "Oh, we're going to be going for this guy." You know what I mean? That was like bang, it happened, and you were like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Shout out to Raider Ben. Shout out to Raider Ben. He saw it coming.
Oh,
yeah, he's the one guy who said
he
right
called
from
it.
the
Yeah,
he's going to be
definitely.
special. Yeah, he called it.
I mean, when you saw that he was available at that time when it was our pick, it's like, oh shit, because everybody at that point was thinking we were going quarterback, and we weren't expecting the players to go in front of us that did. So it's like when you finally saw that he was available, and then we make the pick, it's like, oh goddamn,
Yeah.
But it's not like we went
I didn't
into
know how
that.
good the guy was. Yeah.
That's the guy.
Yeah. But the last, so at least we got 3 good players in 3 years outside of Tyree. So,
Right. And hopefully that trend can keep going, right? Where it looks like it's working out for our first round selection, but it's like I highlighted before. Instead of people looking at it like we should have done something else with our first round selection, which in my personal opinion, we got it right. It's where what we did after that is where I think we should be looking, which is what the problem is. Maybe not so much after Brock Bowers, because we did find JPJ and DJ Glaze, but last year's draft, the jury's still out. We're still scrambling to find who is that other guy, when really we needed to find 2, maybe 3 day one starters, and we didn't outside of Jensen.
Right. Exactly. Because Glaze regressed big time. Go ahead, sir. Sorry, Chuck.
He says, "Cool, Kev. What did you mean about giving Money Chuck a run for his money earlier?" He goes, "You fucking insulting me."
It was just, he caught on to it. He took him forever. All this time I've been out for lunch. It took him this long to figure that joke out.
No, he's been asking, but I haven't put it up because I didn't know if you were still in the chat or not. But now that you're on screen, I put it up. Hey, he just posted it again.
Yeah, he was making some real crazy comments there, and he wasn't getting them. So that's why I said he was giving Money Chuck a run for his money there.
Talking about Neil, right? When Neil was talking earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Saying it for months and months and months. Actually, I think Raider Paul said it last year that Mendoza was the guy we should draft in 2026. Right?
So who's the backup for no? If they don't take Mendoza, you gonna take Chambliss or somebody else, or
If I had to just I mean, at that point, you'd have to look at what's available when we pick in the second round. Oh, well, actually, it depends on when we would pick them at that point because you don't know what we're trading for and what we're getting in return. But I mean, that would be the next if he doesn't get his if he doesn't win his appeal against the NCAA and he ends up being declaring for the draft because he can't go back to college, then Chambliss would be my number 2 quarterback in this draft. To be honest with you,
like if you would watch play, Jeff.
He's from Ole Miss. He's good.
He's really good. I asked how much have you seen him play?
I saw him a few times this season. Same thing with Mendoza. I mean, I didn't sit there like religiously, like staring at the screen watching Mendoza. Or I just when I see what's the top ones that look like they're going to be coming out, then I'll pay a little bit more attention to them as the season goes on because I don't get the opportunity to watch a lot of college ball. So, you know.
So you take Bain over Mendoza here, or you gamble and take Mendoza first and hope for the best.
If it's the Jets and we just move back one pick, at that point it's a crapshoot who you take there. I mean, you could take Reese, you could take Bain. I mean, I know it's crazy, and some people are like, "What the fuck would you take him?" I mean, even Caleb Downs. I mean, the kid is that talented. I think. I mean, that's a possibility too. You know, I know people are like, "Well, he's a safety. You don't draft a safety that early," and I hear that all the time. People say that all the time, but I mean, the kid's talented, man. But I don't know, man. It's. I don't know.
So so let's say we take Mendoza. You still is Gino going to stay and ride him out until Mendoza can get in there, or you start him right away?
Start who right away? Mendoza?
Yeah, over Gino, or get rid of Gino and put Mendoza.
I mean, it could be a case where Mendoza comes in and outplays Gino in training camp and gets the time in preseason to play and outplays him. I mean, it very well could happen, and if it happens and that's the decision, then we got to live with it, and I'll be fine with it. I don't have a problem. If the coaches think that's the best direction, then let's do it.
Like I highlighted before, that we did that with Derek Carr when Matt Schaub was supposed to be the guy. Derek Carr was supposed to sit. Derek Carr outplayed Matt Schaub, and it wasn't even close to his preseason, so we went and rocked with him at quarterback, and we did so with that for the next 9 years. So it can be done. It can be done.
Because at this point, you need we still need 2 quarterbacks, and you may not want to get rid of Gino if you know. You don't want to keep him on the bench either, but you got to make a tough call here. I don't know if Kubiak is going to keep him or not, or get rid of him. But
I mean, again, we may have to keep for the rest of his contract, which is we got 1 more year with him.
Right.
I mean,
I don't think he's going to want to stay anyway. I think he's made it clear he wants out with his Instagram.
I mean, it also depends on what type of relationship that him and Kubiak have.
Kubiak, yeah, is that a sour relationship or not?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay. God, family race.
G-Fan with the $5 super chat. Sing it with me. Nope, not singing it. Not even a word. All right, you paid for it. There was something in the
Do you want me to?
Go ahead, you can do it.
All right, I'm all aboard the Mendoza train, but I'm kind of over that song myself. But I'm gonna sing it one time. Right. There was something in the air tonight. The stars were bright. Fernando Mendoza.
Oh my God. All right, that was worth it. That was worth it. Thanks, G-Fan. My guy. That was funny.
So Fernando Mendoza, right place, right time, or is he overvalued at his position right now?
I hope he is. I really do. I mean, I want nothing more than success for him and for this team. That's all that this comes down to. I just want us to make sure that it's the right move and we're making the right choice and going in the right direction. Because again, I've been a fan for 50 years, man. It's been 40 years since I've seen us win a Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm not making another 40 years. I'll be 95 years old. Ain't happening. If I live to 95, I'm making somebody miserable somewhere because I'm going to be an ornery old fuck. So, Bueno wants to know if you're British. He says, "Is Kev British?"
It's Dominican.
No. For Trinidad.
Oh, Trinidad. I'm on bad.
Trinidad. There you go, Bueno. Oh yeah, you know what? I can. You know what? I'm gonna do it right now while you guys are on here. I'm gonna play the parody Mendoza song I have. You ready for this one? This one's a little bit shorter. All right, here we go.
Yo ho! Silver and black! Hoist the shield! Oh, gather round you Raider fools with mock drives, torn and broken rules. We sail the seas for QB lore. Now Mendoza's at the door. One fine throw across the bay. We crowned him king that very day. Did we scout? No! Did we drink? Yes! Raise the shield and yell it next. Pour ball in Mendoza, ho, ho, in a silver coat. Pour ball in Mendoza, steer the sheep, he's the goat. Ball in Mendoza, ho, ho, in a silver coat. Ball in Mendoza, steer the sheep, he's the goat. Riders, spill your drink. If he fails, we'll blame the sick. QB chalks the battle plan, but we just sing and slam our cans. If he throws 5 picks in a row, we'll still chant, let him grow. Body, QB savior of the 7 seas. Body, till next draft night with me. Yeah. Was he the answer? Maybe. Were we sheep?
I had fun with it. Leave me alone. Yeah, what's about it, Dixie? You don't like that one? I thought it was funny.
I couldn't hear it because I'm playing the audio through my car speakers, so I can't hear. I can hear your voice, so I'll probably have to watch it when I go back and watch the replay.
I got a second one I did too, but from a 64 Impala. How about a 62? Because that's what I had. I had a 62 Impala. That was my first car. I missed that fucking car. Repeat that. Yeah, it's not as good. If you read the lyrics, it's pretty fucking funny. It just didn't relay over the right way.
I've had some fun with Suno. It's a fun app to use.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
I absolutely love playing around with it. Hey, that's where I've got all my other songs from. That's where I've done the Raider Connection.
Well, what's the app you use for your thumbnail?
I use ChatGPT for that stuff. Actually, Thursday night is going to be the new unveiling of the Raiders Coast to Coast intro. I did the song, and then I gave Nate the music, and he put a video to it. The fucking video is awesome. I absolutely love it. He sent it over to me tonight. I was like, yes. So we'll see that Thursday night. But yeah, we're at 3 hours. I think I'm ready to call it.
All right.
Kev, thanks for coming in here. I appreciate you, brother.
Good
to see you guys. Yeah, but it's been a while, so I appreciate you coming in, man. For sure.
Always and, good times as always.
Good to see you, Kev. Good to see you.
Good to see you, brother. All right.
Not too long.
Make sure you guys get over to Afakasi Raider. He's back back in his home country now. Has been for about a week now. He's been back 2 weeks.
Yeah, nearly 2 weeks, man. Yeah. Take care. Okay. Good to see Kev. It's been a long minute.
Yeah.
But no, look, I know I sound like a hypocrite because I was just on your last live telling you, I'm over debating about Mendoza, saying the same things over and over again, and yeah, here I am. But I thought I'd show face because I saw when I've been watching your lives, there's been more people on the panel specifically that have been on your side of the coin rather than being on my side of the fence where I believe, what I believe. So I thought I'd just, since the topic was there, I'll show face and show why I feel the way I feel and believe what I believe. And it seems like a lot of people in this chat seem to feel that way too. So look, at the end of the day, if we do go that route, let's just all get behind him and the coaching staff. I don't want people to be such busters that they want the downfall of this guy just so they can come out and say, yeah, see, I told you so. And I'm not saying you, Jeff. I know there's going to be a few of these cats out there who are so hung up on being right that they want the downfall of whether it's a player or coach. To me, that's buster mentality. Get behind our coach, get behind our player until they prove otherwise, right? Let's give them a chance. Let's go.
The only time I will say I told you so is if we don't improve the offensive line and this fucking poor kid gets hurt, I'm going to say, see, I told you. And now, I can give you a perfect example of a player that had that same situation in his rookie career, okay, got injured, but this was the coach pushing him back in, though, too, was RG3. This kid was a rookie. He had a promising career ahead of him, and he got injured. The coach pushed him to play in the playoffs, and he was never the same since after that because his second year, he wasn't as good. It's the same thing with Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels I thought he was phenomenal his rookie year. If you're not
with RG3 though, wasn't that more so his leg was? Sorry,
RG3, yeah, that was his injury, but that was also the coach pushing to get him back out there. But if you don't protect,
I agree with you there.
If you don't protect these players at such a young age, man, when they come in from the draft, that you, in some cases, especially if he's the future of your team, he's the number one overall pick. You've got a lot invested in that kid. Okay, you have to protect him with kid gloves. You have to make sure, especially a quarterback, because it's such a nasty position to play. And teams want to tee off on quarterbacks. You see it all the time, man. How bad do you think Max wants to lay the fuck out of Mahomes? He wants to fucking kill him every shot he gets. Any quarterback. Khalil Mack, same way. Myles Garrett from Cleveland. All they want to do is get back to the quarterback and knock him into next week. So if you're not protecting this kid and making sure that he's going to have a viable career with us, then we're wasting money or we're wasting draft equity is what it comes down to, So that's why if we don't protect him, it's all for naught. And that's where I need to make sure, or I feel that we need to make sure that we're making the right choice, And again,
like I said, even if it doesn't happen year one, we can do that in time. I highlighted that with Derek Carr.
But you just can't put him in a position to get. Yeah, but you remember, Derek Carr was not a first round overall number one pick. So his.
No, but
and I know.
I still stand by what I said.
Go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, I said I still stand by what I said.
No, and I guess
it's still
okay.
Still same principle.
But there was less.
He didn't have the
on
offensive
Carr.
line.
But there was less pressure on Carr to go out there and perform to that level of being a starter when he was a second round pick, or when you're the number one overall, pressure's on you because everybody's expecting you to be this guy up here, not a mid type guy. And if he spends the rest of his career being a mid, like Carr was basically, he was a mid-level quarterback. He wasn't a superstar elitist. He was on that cusp of possibly getting there some
2016.
Yep. But he never hit that higher upper echelon when he was a player. So if Mendoza's just mid through the years, but we are successful, people will overlook that. But if he comes out and we're not protecting him and we're not building around him for the future too, then what was the true value of that number one pick? So it's like,
But
and again,
my principle still is the same. I get it. If Derek Carr was a second rounder, Mendoza will likely be the first selection overall. But the principle is still there. Derek Carr was still a rookie year one who didn't have the greatest offensive line, yet he was still able to make it work. If Derek Carr can make it work year one, there's no reason why Fernando Mendoza can't make it work for the most part year one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not ideal, but it can be done. We have, I think, actually, when you look back, like we had Donald Penn, Steve Wisniewski, and Jared Veldea back when Derek Carr first started. That's not too bad on paper. But when I look at what we have on paper, Colton Miller and the other younger guys like DJ Glaze, JPJ, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, there's guys there with the right coaching that can maybe give us better than that. And then if we do get two or one offensive lineman, even if it's not year one, if it's year two and we have to wait till next year to get these offensive linemen, all I'm trying to say is it can still work. Not ideal. We can make it work.
Yep.
But we're never going to make it work unless we try. The time is now. You got to try.
What's up, Mike? Fan base still can't agree on number one pick. Mendoza pick is the reason why Kubiak is coming to the Raiders. I hope it is, and I hope he's successful with them. So, with that being said, again, make sure you guys get over to Afakasi Raider. If you're not subscribed to his channel, make sure you get over there. Hit that sub, hit the notifications. If you're an old school guy and you played Tech Mobile when you were a kid, definitely keep an eye out for Afakasi's channel because he does Super Tecmo Bowl, and usually you'll see me on there playing too sometimes.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna have to get back onto it sometime.
Yeah, we will.
Just me and you.
Still sit right up here on the shelf above me. God awful stuff. You know, I had that. I tried that like about 4 weeks ago. Somehow we got on the subject in the chat, and I think Bueno was like, "Oh, try it again now." So as soon as I opened it up, I was like, ugh.
"Oh, the Vegemite." Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but then I took it.
You already saw Raider Ben's. I brought a jar for him to try, and Nate, but Nate wasn't game enough, so Raider Ben tried it.
I saw that. It was worth
it.
When
we're not just acting when we try this stuff, it literally is that bad with the wrong dosage. So.
Smell alone is just But all right, everybody. I'll see you Tuesday night. The Most Notorious with myself, Leo, and Raider Will from Silver and Black Podcast, and then Wednesday night, the Raider Connection, myself, Leo, Jay from Just Raiders Baby, and LV Raider 10. So until then, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your night, and stay safe and go Raiders.
401. 401. Silver and black, yeah, we never fold. New winning roots with a Raider soul. East Coast grind, West Coast pride, Raider Nation.